Hey guys. Say hi, Mike.
What's happening?
Welcome to our bullshit coverage of Trump's bullshit tonight.
Do you remember when we had Fearmongering?
I do. And this is Pete Shelley, by the way. Rest in peace. We lost Pete Shelley this week, bro. You know.
Well, not this week.
I can't find the live stream in here. There it is. There it is. Yeah, one person's watching.
How's it? Welcome.
Okay, so we got it going there. Okay, so as a lot of people know, Trump is going to be giving an 8-minute speech that I'm sure Stephen Miller spent a hell of a lot of time crafting on border security, a bunch of fascist fear-mongering bullshit. It's an 8-minute speech. It's going to come on at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so in 30 minutes.
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern, and so we're going to play a couple news clips and stuff to sort of get you up to speed with the basics of what's going on, and sort of preempt the undoubtedly disgusting fucking lies he's planning to tell us tonight, right? And
He doesn't open his mouth without lying.
it's right, yeah, and so we're going to do that. We're also going to have Just Jules is going to call in and give us a report. As some of our viewers may know,
Cool.
Just Jules is going regularly down to the border and providing services and volunteering to help people in the caravan and help them with their process for asylum.
San Ysidro, San Diego, Tijuana border. Yes, sir.
So after Trump talks his shit and after we take a look at the Democrat response, which, oh God, we'll see what kind of shit show that is. But after all that, we're going to have a report from Just Jules about what's actually, really, factually happening from a first-hand account down there at the border. And a number of other surprises. We're going to be hanging out with SoCal Shannon and getting ready to get her in on this shit here in just a minute. Yeah, so that's kind of what it's all about this evening. We'll probably be going for a couple hours, if not a little more, depending on how long it takes me to finish this fantastic blue ribbon prize-winning beverage.
Yeah, I got me a box of rocks.
So, yeah,
So,
you know
and that's
what?
about. Let me tell you, my 12-pack smarter than the president. So.
Ooh, okay. Sorry, I just saw that the power cord was coming out of the camera, and I didn't want it to fall out and then run out of battery and then kill in the middle of the live stream. So, let's see. I've got
So, hey, first of all, Happy New Year, bro.
Oh man, Happy New Year, bro. It's like, is it already 1998? Something like that, right?
Dude.
Call the operator. Call the operator and ask her what fucking year it is, because I don't know.
Seriously, as I get older, they go so much faster.
The telephone operators?
It's I wish.
Oh, you mean the years?
It is.
Yeah. So look, I want to let's pull this video up. I need to get you the fuck out of here to do this, though.
That's fine, because you know what? I'm gonna go potty.
TMI, my friend. This out of here. I'll bring this in here. So what I'm going to be playing you here is just a little piece that Media Matters put out today. It just kind of shows the disgusting way with which Fox News and the right-wing talking heads goaded Trump into this crap, into this disgusting fucking... It's not just a wasted time. Like, people are going to get hurt and killed that have no reason to be hurt or killed. People who are fleeing just such terrible, immense violence and oppression that is visited on their nations by United States foreign fucking policy. And it's all just to sell this fascist bullshit. It's just... So anyway, that's what this is. Hold on a second. Let me get it up here. There we go. And I'll shut off old Pete Shelley here.
How many of our fellow citizens have been murdered because of unsecured borders? Now, if that's not a national emergency, I don't know how we would ever define one.
We're about to shatter the numbers of illegal border crossers that were crossed during the Obama administration. So absolutely, we're in an emergency situation.
The radical Dems refuse to take responsibility for what is a national emergency, as the president says, a national crisis.
Will the president call this a national emergency?
Well, I'm hoping he will. I think the president would save face by invoking his emergency powers, but it is a national security issue for sure.
Without a doubt, this is a national emergency. It's time to build the wall. The president is right to fight to protect American lives.
And if that means invoking a national emergency and using DOD funds, that's possible. I would absolutely support him.
They just don't want a wall around the border to protect the American people from the onslaught that we're facing every day.
Well, it is indeed a national emergency.
Yes, there is a national security issue here in protecting our sovereignty.
Why would
It is
anybody,
clearly a
knowing that we
national
have a
emergency.
national emergency affecting millions and millions of Americans, costing this country hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, why would the Democrats make this a political issue instead of deal with their responsibility, which is to confront a national crisis?
Is this the best bet
you.
for him to do this?
Yeah, I think so at this point. The National Emergencies Act, he'd also have the ability to ask the military to help construct the wall. He is president today because of our situation with immigration. He is president because he promised the wall.
imaginary
It's
one.
time for him to do whatever has to happen for him to start construction on it.
This president is leading the nation on a national emergency that only he can solve and has the political will. The American people, all they need is a strong leader. He's it.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Did you wave pee, homie?
Yeah. All good. Yeah, and I come back and hear this fucking literal bullshit.
Right.
I mean, you got to remember, okay, first of all, Obama was called the deporter in chief. Up to that point in time, he had deported more people had been deported under his presidency or his administration than any other time. Okay, so it was funny. I was listening to Tom Hartman today, and he brought up an interesting point. Do you remember? You probably don't. When Mitt Romney ran, one of the things he talked about was self-deportation, and fucking we all laughed. Yeah, I was Democrats, liberals, we all fucking laughed. Yeah, people are just gonna leave all by themselves, right? Bottom line is, it's true. They're not gonna fucking come here if there's no jobs. Okay, but this isn't about jobs right now. This is about our fucked up foreign policy fucking up these people's country, and now they have to leave because they're in fear for their fucking lives. So to hear this bullshit from Fox News, I'm just like, bro. I mean, we have family members that hear the stuff constantly. What was that? 5, 6 different fucking commentators, news.
A whole bunch, yeah, just a whole slew of them. Pundits.
It's a
hosts.
national fucking crisis. Yeah. You know, and how many people are they saying were killed, and how this is a national crisis, but yet we have what 40,000? I don't know the number, man. We have more people killed by handguns in this country per year than we do by fucking terrorists coming across the Mexican border.
Well, you know what?
It just doesn't happen.
Let's get
The State Department came out and said there is no credible threat of terrorists coming across the southern border.
Well, you know what? Look, which brings me to, I want to play another clip. It's John Idarola from the Young Turks. Look, for anybody who has serious issue with Young Turks, as a leftist, from a leftist critique, we hear you. I've done videos giving Jake all kinds of shit. But I like John Idarola, and all that caveat aside, he really provides the straight up facts, figures, and numbers that are relevant to this whole border issue, man. And he put this out this morning on his show, The Damage Report. So it's like a 10-minute clip, but it really does cover shit. I mean, just all of it. So here we go. And then we're going to get Shan on the line after
Donald
this.
Trump is going to go before the nation and talk about the crisis at the border. The problem with that is there's not a crisis at the border. There are a few crises at the border, but they're actually of his own making. So when he chooses to tear gas or pepper spray migrants, when he chooses to separate families or cage children, when they treat migrants so callously that multiple children die in Border Patrol custody, I would call those crises. I would call those humanitarian issues. That's not what he's talking about, though. He is going to make the case that things are so bad at the border, the immigration situation is so dire, that he needs to have his massive wall, whether it's the concrete wall that he was promising for years or the steel wall that he's talking about now. God only knows, maybe it's plastic. I don't know. But that's what he's going to be pushing for. And the issue with that is that the facts just aren't there. And so we're going to break down the actual situation at the border, the actual situation having to do with immigration into this country, especially undocumented immigration. Is there any case to be made that we face a national emergency? Because there's a very real chance that Donald Trump will declare one a little bit later on today. So I'm going to attempt to be as fair as possible to him. So let's talk about a couple of different ways that there could be a national emergency at the border. So if lots and lots of people, historic levels of people, were coming across the border, then maybe you could make the case that that's a national emergency. Certainly that would be big. I would be surprised because the headlines haven't been there about it, but maybe the media is dropping the ball and lots of people are coming across the border in ways that they didn't used to. Turns out, though, that that's not actually the case. So if we bring up this chart, you're going to see data from 2006 up to 2016 showing net illegal immigration from Mexico and Central America. Exactly the sort of undocumented immigration that Donald Trump loves to talk about. And you see there that for going back about a decade now, there was either negative net illegal immigration or there was equal. And so some people are coming across the border into America, some people are going back from America across the border. That's the sort of process, though, although we don't talk about it this way, is happening at many border crossings literally every day. There are tons of people who go across for the day, then go back. Sometimes it takes a few weeks, sometimes a few months. That sort of thing certainly happens. But we're not facing any sort of massive historic level of people just walking across the border. That's simply not the case. And actually, that chart makes it look more arguable than it is, because if you went to data before that, the levels of people coming across were many times higher than even in those early years, the 2006, 2007 level. So, in terms of sheer quantity of human bodies crossing the border, there is no case to be made that we face any sort of crises. Overall, the number of undocumented workers in the U.S. has been declining steadily for a decade. You don't hear that talked about, but that is simply the case. And then a quick aside, even if there was a huge quantity of people coming across the border, that does not by itself constitute a crisis, especially considering, as we've talked about many times on the show, we've done myth busting before, our Myths of American Politics segments, undocumented immigrants commit crimes at lower levels than native-born American citizens. That's both property crimes and violent crimes. So to that extent, they're actually helping to lower the average level of crime on any individual here inside of the U.S. But anyway, that first potential case for a crisis, sheer quantity of people, simply not the case. Don't expect to hear those numbers tonight, though. So what if we're not worried about how many people are coming across the border? What if we're just worried about high-risk individuals? So terrorists coming across the border. That has been the case that's been made recently. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders was talking on Fox News with, I think it was, it might have been Wallace that was talking with her. But in any event, she was saying that they had stopped something like 4,000 people that were terrorists or potential terrorists at the border. Now, even in real time, on Fox News, that was shot down as a complete misstatement of numbers that are, even in their broadest definition, only true about worldwide numbers for people being stopped, not at the border. And not terrorists, by the way. It's untrue in a lot of different ways. The vast, vast, vast majority of all of those people worldwide are attempting to enter the U.S. through ships or mostly through planes, not walking across the southern border. So let's talk about the actual numbers of what she was trying to make you think the situation was. What's really going on? Well, there were 41 people on the terrorist screening database encountered at the southern border from October 1st, 2017 to March 31st, 2018. So you have there a little bit, like around half a year, basically. So that's 41 people. 35 of them were U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents, leaving only 6 non-U.S. persons. And that does not mean 6 terrorists. That's people who have been flagged for one reason or another on this screening database. Now, there are people on that list that are terrorists or likely to be terrorists. That's certainly the case. But it is also possible to be on that list simply because you come from a country that has a lot of terrorists in it. So if you come from Syria during a particular year period, you will be put on that database regardless of whatever actions you have taken or not taken throughout your life. If you have traveled in a manner that is considered suspicious, so if you have flown through certain countries, you can be put on that list. Again, it does not mean that you are a terrorist. It just means they have some reason to be suspicious. But even with all of that said, during that period, there were 6 people. So now I know Fox News will say, well, 1's enough. I mean, if you got 1, you need a wall. If you've got 1 person, you need thousands of miles of steel or concrete at the border. But here's the thing. If this was actually a justification for the wall, then maybe it is, but not a justification for the wall between the U.S. and Mexico, because it turns out during that same period on the northern border, Customs and Border Protection stopped 91 people on the database, including 41 who were not American citizens or residents. So man, if 6 people justifies a wall between us and Mexico, 41 has got to justify multiple walls. Right? Good luck getting into Vancouver in the near future. Look, the truth of the matter is, regardless of whatever vague statistics, and I'm trying to be as fair as possible, but even there, this is vague information. The real situation, according to the AP, citing a Cato Institute study, the only known terrorists crossing the Mexico border from 1984 all the way to 2017 were 3 ethnic Albanians from Macedonia who came as children back in 1984 and were arrested in the foiled plot to attack the army base at Fort Dix in 2007. So, even if I am being way more fair than anyone should be, and I assume that those ethnic Albanians came in as terrorist kids to later do this plot decades later, then there are 3. They're not from Syria, okay, but they did cross the border. So that is true. We do have 3 over that time period. Now, maybe that justifies the wall. To me, personally, it does not. So, those are 2 cases. Sheer number of people, high-risk targeted individuals. Neither of those actually justify a wall. But what about the third argument? There's also drugs. They talk about the drug trade all the time. But unfortunately, the DEA has talked about how drugs come into the country. Not just the sheer quantity, but how they come in the first place. So, does the DEA think that a wall would actually help? Well, it turns out that only a small percentage of all the heroin seized by CBP along the land border was between ports of entry. So that's being illegally brought in over the border, not through a port of entry. The majority of the inflow entering the U.S. was at legal ports of entry. followed by tractor trailers where the heroin is commingled with legal goods. So yeah, illegal drugs do come into the U.S. They're not just carted across the border by individuals in backpacks, though. They're driven across in cars, in tractor trailers, all through ports of entry, which would still remain in their current status even if we had a wall. So if you had a wall, you would stop at best a very small fraction of the overall heroin trade coming into the U.S. And there are probably much better ways to do that. So if there's no need for a wall because of sheer quantity of people, if there's no need for a wall because of high-risk individuals, if the drug trade would not be impacted by a wall, why shut down the government for it? Why declare a national emergency? Why do a national primetime address? Well, we know why. Because his base wants a wall. Not that they need a wall. Many of them don't live anywhere near the border. They don't know the situation of the border better than anyone else across the country. But they feel like they need it because they are scared as hell of the sorts of people they see in Fox News footage along the border. And so tonight, when he gives his address, don't expect facts about any of these situations. Expect a healthy helping of fear-mongering, disinformation, talking points from Stephen Miller, and little else. But hey, maybe I'll be surprised, and maybe the media will do a great job of fact-checking him. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m.
So yeah, you know, the thing is with the reason that I know that John Iadarola is just being a dumb fucking triggered libtard is because it's not a wall, it's steel slats. The Great Orange Hope cleared that up for us. It's steel slats. Am I not right, Michael?
Yeah, we already have steel slat walls.
We do?
And guess what?
What?
Ladders still can climb over steel slat walls.
That is not true.
So
That's true. That's triggered libtard fake news.
you know what, bro?
You're the real Nazi. You're the real Nazi because you said that. Because ladders go over steel slats. You obviously have not done tremendous, big, incredible studies on the effectiveness of steel slats. Are you an expert on steel slats?
I am not an expert on steel slats, nor am I an expert on walls. However, the minuscule knowledge I have of walls is that they don't work.
Something's holding your fucking roof up, bro.
They just don't fucking work.
Something's holding your roof up. That's all I'm saying. Walls have a purpose.
They'll hold the roof up, sure, but they don't keep people out.
And it's
I mean, this is. I mean, what did we find out? Just I think today that the wall was just a fucking a trigger word for the fucking idiot in chief to remember to talk about border security, and then it's a fucking vanity wall, bro.
Yeah.
This is a vanity wall. This is
But it serves
his name on it in gold letters.
I want to get Shan in on this discussion, but it serves other purposes too, bro. Like the fear-mongering stuff. Like it solidifies his base, keeps them chugging along and supporting him, keeps them deathly afraid. It gives the neocon warmongering right-wing talking heads on mainstream media the talking points they need to keep the war machine chugging along. I mean, it serves. I don't know if Trump understands that it's that useful. I don't think so. I think that he sees, just people scatter and all the chatter and all the headlines every time he says it. So he just keeps saying it, right?
Yeah, I think
he's not playing 3D chess. He's being manipulated by these war-hungry fucking entities. They like his bullshit, why he's saying it. They find it useful, right, is what I'm getting at.
Agreed.
But I just don't think that Trump is aware the multi-levels with which this is very useful to people with imperialist, pro-capitalist, fascist agendas, right? Like, he just thinks, I can say the wall, and...
This is he's a narcissist. This is about his fucking ego.
I'm gonna call Shannon. Should I call Shannon?
Yeah. And let me say this because this is what they were talking about on Tom Hartman today. is that it's gonna be just like the Muslim ban. This is to solidify his base. This way he can say, hey, look, I tried. Because I mean, if he calls this a national emergency tonight, then it's gonna go.
Hello?
The Democrats are going to.
Hey, SoCal Shannon. I'm sorry, Mike.
And
Hello?
There she is.
hey,
There I am.
So you're with us. Mike was finishing his
I
point.
was lost, and now I found myself.
So-
I'm sorry.
Mike was going to finish his point real quick.
so
We've got
I would
5
say
minutes.
is that-
Hold on real quick, Mike. We got 5 minutes till he starts. So you've basically got 5 minutes. And then Shan, we're just going to do our best to listen. His speech is only 8 minutes, Trump's. So we're going to do our best to try and hear him out. If you have to gasp or say fuck off, that's great. But we'll try not to talk over him. But then we're really going to come back and...
I might have to mute my mic. All I was going to say, bro, is what's going to happen is that if he declares a national emergency, then the Democrats are going to take him to court. Okay? And the courts are going to overturn it, just like they did the Muslim ban. But then he fucking wins because he goes,
It is
right.
breaking
Look,
up
I
so
fucking tried.
bad right now. It's I can't hear.
You can't hear very good, Shan? Can you
Okay.
hear? Can you hear me okay?
You are coming through, but Mike was like, it was.
Okay, well, then you might not be able to hear Mike that well, because I could hear you fine, Mike. So,
Now you're cutting out. I don't know if it's me.
I think it's probably on your end.
Fuck.
why don't you try calling us back, Shannon?
All right.
Aaron, why don't you try
how,
calling her
how,
again?
on
Okay.
lines, or how am I doing this?
No, just stay on the line. Hold on a second. What I want to do is find that now this thing in time for his speech to start so we don't miss it. So we're going to play the live stream from Now This, because they're saying that they're going to fact check him in real time. So that's the live stream we're going to play of his speech. So I'm going to bring that
From
up.
now this.
Yeah. And then Shan, once his speech is over, if your connection's still bad or whatever, we'll figure it out at that point. Okay.
Okay. You guys can hear me fine though? I'm not.
I can totally hear you good.
Okay, because I have 3 bars. What's full? My eyes are bad. 3. I guess 4 is full. So I have 3 bars. So I don't know why it's doing that. Now it's down to 2. Because there's too many people living here. That's why.
She's coming in fine with me. I mean,
Yeah, I can hear you really
like it
good.
is, I guess.
I'm not
It's
seeing
just
it
my
here.
end.
Of course, it's always Mike.
Oh, there it is.
No, it's my end. M-Y. Shannon.
They're showing. Yeah, yeah.
Nicholas, no, please.
Hey, Adam Rainstopper is here. Got Jonathan Loop, Hunter Red and Black in the house.
Whoa, what's up to the hunter?
Hey, Punker Mike.
How's it, brother?
Meet Adam Rainstopper. He's in the chat. He's been supporting the shit out of us for a long time. He's actually boosted us to other people, and like suggested us to a number of other people that have since subbed us and followed us. So I just wanted you to say hey to Adam Rainstopper. He's had our back for a while.
Well, aloha to Adam Rainstopper. How's it, brother? Welcome. I am the Uncle Punker Mike from Punks for Progress. I'm the old man of the group.
So the only thing that now this is live streaming right now is a bunch of like goofs and fact checks on Trump. They haven't gone live from his speech yet. Are you seeing it anywhere else, Michael? Maybe. Okay.
And I've got C-SPAN on, and they're talking about the fucking day 18 and the government shutdown. Dude, I mean, we could do a whole motherfucking show on this. This has just got so much bullshit.
I'm gonna pull you off the screen, Mike, and get this thing up here.
Do it.
And yeah.
wall. And then they say, you can't build a wall. It's too big, it doesn't work. Well, 3,000 years ago, right, the Great Wall of China was built.
Why does he say China like vagina? I just get so irritated.
13,000.
Keep that word out of your mouth, fucker.
And that was done between 2,000. It did take them 500 years, in all fairness.
The Great Wall of China didn't work.
They don't stop. They don't stop. That's why we need tough people to negotiate with the Chinese, because they don't
The
stop.
Berlin Wall didn't work.
But the Great Wall of China was built 13,000 miles. Now, in Mexico, they were complaining it doesn't work. Now, they have these walls built, and they said, well, people go over these walls with a ladder. You know how tall the wall is? It's like this. And it's not a wall, it's a little fence. And people put up a ladder that they buy at Home Depot, and they go over the wall, jump, and that's the end. And then they say,
You know, Aaron, I had a real hard time listening to Bush.
higher.
Like a real hard time.
Did you ever see...
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever see precast
This is
plank
harder,
for parking
right? I
garages?
mean, it's like,
Okay, as an example, you know, not a big deal. I'm a
Yes.
What I do best in life, in all fairness, I build.
you know, it's why I wish there was more far leftist people out there doing coverage of politics and stuff, because it's so much easier to imbibe with that filter, with the occasional, isn't this guy a fucking asshole? Right? Like, not just, is there really good people on both sides? Let's bring in Jake Tapper and Wolf Blitzer and find out if there's good people on both sides or not. I mean, that's what we get, you know? But we want to know what this fucking asshole is doing every day, you know? It's 6 o'clock. Where's his fucking...
It's coming. I've got it on C-SPAN.
He's got to have his KFC.
Not up yet.
Is this it? Yeah.
A wall. And he fought for a long time. During his entire term, he was never able to get a wall.
Rather than
Oh,
making
no, it's
them
not. God damn
or
it.
talking about putting up a fence,
Hold on.
why don't we work out some recognition of our mutual problems, make it possible for them to come here legally with a work permit, and then while they're working and earning here, they pay taxes here.
Yeah, fuck that guy too. You say you have it on C-SPAN, but it's not up yet, Michael?
Yes, I have it on C-SPAN. It's not up yet. They're showing a picture of the White House lit up.
I would be helping.
Oh,
but
here
you
it
guys
is. It's
know
coming on right now.
I don't have dish or a computer.
Okay, I got it.
Encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country. America proudly welcomes millions of lawful immigrants who enrich our society and contribute to our nation. But all Americans are hurt by uncontrolled illegal migration. It strains public resources and drives down jobs
Migration
and
isn't
wages.
illegal.
Among those hardest hit are African Americans and Hispanic Americans. Our southern border is a pipeline for vast quantities of illegal drugs, including meth, heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl.
Bullshit.
Every week, 300 of our citizens are killed by heroin alone, 90% of which floods across from our southern border.
Blatant fucking
More
lie.
Americans will die from drugs this year than were killed in the entire Vietnam War. In the last 2 years, ICE officers made 266,000 arrests of aliens with criminal records, including those charged or convicted of 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 violent killings. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country.
There's a fucking...
And thousands
Oh
more
my
lives
Show me
will be
one.
lost if we don't act right now.
Fuck you, man.
This is a humanitarian crisis, a crisis of the heart and a crisis of the soul. Last month, 20,000 migrant children were illegally brought into the United States, a dramatic increase. These children are used as human pawns by vicious coyotes and ruthless gangs.
Bullshit.
1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted on the dangerous trek up through Mexico. Women and children are the biggest victims by far of our broken system. This is the tragic reality of illegal immigration on our southern border. This is the cycle of human suffering that I am determined
the United
to end.
States foremost.
My administration has presented Congress with a detailed proposal to secure the border and stop the criminal gangs, drug smugglers, and human traffickers. It's a tremendous problem. Our proposal was developed by law enforcement professionals and border agents at the Department of Homeland Security. These are the resources they have requested to properly perform their mission and keep America safe. In fact, safer than ever before. The proposal from Homeland Security includes cutting-edge technology for detecting drugs, weapons, illegal contraband, and many other things. We have requested more agents, immigration judges, and bed space to process the sharp rise in unlawful migration fueled by our very strong economy. Our plan also contains an urgent request for humanitarian assistance and medical support. Furthermore, we have asked Congress to close border security loopholes so that illegal immigrant children can be safely and humanely returned back home. Finally, as part of an overall approach to border security, law enforcement professionals have requested $5.7 billion for a physical barrier. At the request of Democrats, it will be a steel barrier rather than a concrete wall. This barrier is absolutely critical to border security. It's also what our professionals at the border want and need. This is just common sense. The border wall would very quickly pay for itself. The cost of illegal drugs exceeds $500 billion a year, vastly more than the $5.7 billion we have requested from Congress. The wall will also be paid for indirectly by the great new trade deal we have made with Mexico. Senator Chuck Schumer, who you will be hearing from later tonight, has repeatedly supported a physical barrier in the past, along with many other Democrats. They changed their mind only after I was elected president. Democrats in Congress have refused to acknowledge the crisis, and they have refused to provide our brave border agents with the tools they desperately need to protect our families and our nation. The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security. My administration is doing everything in our power to help those impacted by the situation. But the only solution is for Democrats to pass a spending bill that defends our borders and reopens the government. This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting. I have invited congressional
where he gets
leadership
exactly
to the
what
White
he wants. We get this wall. 45 minutes and I get my wall.
To get this done. Hopefully, we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security. Some have suggested a barrier is immoral. Then why do wealthy politicians build walls, fences, and gates around their homes? They don't build walls because they hate the people on the outside, but because they love the people on the inside. The only thing that is immoral is the politicians to do nothing and continue to allow more innocent people to be so horribly victimized. America's heart broke the day after Christmas when a young police officer in California was savagely murdered in cold blood
Jules
by
takes
an
it. I
illegal
was
alien
texting her
just came
when you
across the
called.
border.
No, we knew it. The second it happened, we knew he was going to use this shit. They're one example.
No right to be in our country. Day
One.
after day, precious lives are cut short by those who have violated our borders. In California, an Air Force veteran was
You
raped,
violate my borders, you
murdered,
piece of shit.
and beaten to death with a hammer by an
Crime is
illegal
lower on
alien with
average
a
near the
long
border than in the
criminal
rest of the
history.
country, it says.
In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor. In Maryland, MS-13 gang members who arrived in the United States as unaccompanied minors were arrested and charged last year after viciously stabbing and beating a 16-year-old girl.
It says violent crime has dropped
Over the
23%
last several years,
since
I've met with
1980 and
dozens
maybe
of
at an all-time
families
low.
whose loved ones were stolen.
The fucking
illegal
fearmonger
immigration.
like all
I've
fascists.
held the hands of the weeping mothers and embraced the grief-stricken fathers. So sad, so terrible.
He's lying.
I will never forget the pain in their eyes, the tremble in their voices, and the sadness gripping their souls.
I'll never
How
forget
much
when Stephen
more
Miller
American
wrote that
blood
bullshit you just
must
spewed.
we shed
Scum
before
fuck.
Congress does its
I'm
job?
having a hard time.
For those who refuse to compromise in the name of border security, I would ask, imagine if it was your child, your husband, or your wife
He's kind of
whose
very
life
good.
was so cruelly shattered.
Dying
Totally
of
broken.
dehydration because they're
To
secret
every member
they'll be
of
murdered,
Congress,
raped, and
pass a bill that ends this crisis. To every citizen, call Congress and tell them to finally, after all of these decades, secure our border. This is a choice between right and wrong.
It says undocumented
Justice
immigrants are
and
less likely to
injustice.
commit crimes
This
than
is
native
about
born
whether we
citizens. Of
fulfill our
course we know
sacred duty
that.
to the American citizens we serve. When I took the oath of office, I swore
I threw
to
up.
protect our country. And that is what I will always do. So help me God.
Go.
Thank you and good night.
And go fuck
I grew
yourself
up
47
when you wrote down
fucking
that
times, you
asshole
piece of shit.
I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Good. Good. It probably tastes better than what you just heard that fucking asshole say.
Well, I mean, okay, so like, I'm trying to hear this from, say, a Fox viewer's point of view. And like, believing all this shit that he's saying. I mean, wow, dude, to whip out those fucking, the few people that have been, horribly killed by somebody who was undocumented. I mean, right. What about the fucking millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people that are killed every year by handguns in this country by fucking people who are citizens? What about that?
or by
I mean,
our
this
foreign
is-
policies.
Pure, blatant fucking racism, dude. I mean, this is full on just, and it's bullshit propaganda. I mean, it's
Look, Mike.
the whole thing.
Illegal alien, right? Well, I mean, you're old enough, Aaron. They said that shit in the 70s. Like, I don't
No, it's
recall
illegal.
hearing it as much in the 80s, but I'm sure they did.
No one's illegal.
Hey, Mike, do you know where this Democratic response is going to be?
And it's come back.
It should be right directly afterwards.
But no, like what
I've got
outlet?
it on right now.
Where you have it on at?
C-SPAN.
Through cable, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't help me.
It doesn't help you.
No.
Sorry.
Let's see.
I can tell you right now, there's nothing going on. So, I mean, I'm looking at a picture of the White House and the Capitol. So, I mean, I'm really interested to hear what
Yeah, I'm
Steve
gonna find
Bartolozzi
it.
have to say.
I'll find it.
I mean, they're two of the biggest fucking corporate Democrats that are in Congress. Two of the biggest. God, and it's so sad to hear liberals just fucking pin all their trust on these two people. It's like, you have no fucking clue, guys. Pelosi's not going to do shit.
Pelosi flipped us off in Nevada, remember? Well, the Bernie delegation, anyway.
Yes,
I felt
I
like
do.
it was,
You guys want to watch
Yes,
Fox?
it-
So it's
yeah.
Pelosi and
No,
Schumer.
those boxer.
So listen, I see two live streams. One is Fox News. It says Pelosi Schumer respond to Trump Oval Office address.
I'm sorry about the sirens, you guys.
It's your fault.
It's where I live. It's a nightly freaking thing. I'm surprised the coyotes aren't howling at the siren.
Dude, I mean, come on. I live on the north shore of the country, and I have sirens just about every night. Something's going on always.
They're
And it could
right
just be
there,
like
actually.
old
so.
people having fucking
yeah.
heart attacks.
Actually, you know what? Anybody in the chat, if you know of a good, right now I have Fox
Here it
News.
comes. It's on right now.
All right, well, never mind. Then I'm gonna use the Fox News one.
Are they? Is it the Democratic response?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a sec. I
Can
gotta.
you hear it from me?
Turn it up.
The facts. Fact is, very first day.
Now I hear nothing, except the birds chirping.
Passing which will be open. This obsession with fortune taxpayers to its billions of dollars in extended and more. The law has been punished, and that's it. Fact is, President is chosen to hold hostage services for the safety and well-being of the American people.
Can't hear it at all.
And 800,000
You can turn it off, Mike. You can't hear it at all.
parents. Workers across the nation, many of them veterans. He promised to keep government shut down for months or years, no matter whom it hurts. That's just plain wrong. The fact is,
Let me just say that if he said he's going to shut down the government for months and years, then obviously the border
we
crisis
can
is
build the
bad.
infrastructure and roads at our ports of entry. We can install new technology to scan cars and trucks for drugs coming into our nation. We can hire the personnel we need to facilitate trade and immigration at the border. We can fund more innovation to detect unauthorized crossings. The fact is, the women and children at the border are not a security threat. They are a humanitarian challenge, a challenge that President Trump's own cruel and counterproductive policies have only deepened. And the fact is, President Trump must stop holding the American people hostage, must stop manufacturing the crisis, and must deal with the government. Thank you. Leader Schumer?
Thank you, Speaker Pelosi. My fellow Americans, we address you tonight for one reason only. The President of the United States, having failed to get Mexico to pay for his ineffective, unnecessary border wall, and unable to convince the Congress or the American people to foot the bill, has shut down the government. American democracy doesn't work that way. We don't govern by temper tantrum. No president should pound the table and demand he gets his way, or else the government shuts down, hurting millions of Americans who are treated as leverage. Tonight, and throughout this debate and throughout his presidency, President Trump has appealed to fear, not facts, division, not unity. Make no mistake, Democrats and the president both want stronger border security. However, we sharply disagree with the president about the most effective way to do it. So, how do we untangle this mess? Well, there's an obvious solution. Separate the shutdown from arguments over border security. There is bipartisan legislation supported by Democrats and Republicans to reopen government while allowing debate over border security to continue. There is no excuse for hurting millions of Americans over a policy difference. Federal workers are about to miss a paycheck. Some families can't get a mortgage to buy a new home. Farmers and small businesses won't get loans they desperately need. Most presidents have used Oval Office addresses for noble purposes. This president just used the backdrop of the Oval Office to manufacture a crisis, stoke fear, and divert attention from the turmoil in his administration. My fellow Americans, there is no challenge so great that our nation cannot rise to meet it. We can reopen the government and continue to work through disagreements over policy. We can secure our border without an ineffective, expensive wall. And we can welcome legal immigrants and refugees without compromising safety and security.
Asylum seekers.
Why do you have to say we can secure our border? It's just
not.
Don't even use that language.
So our suggestion is a simple one. Mr. President, reopen the government and we can work to resolve our differences over border security. But end this shutdown now. Thank you.
Blah.
Right?
I mean, it's
woo! Fuck, I am so lit on fire and inspired. Dude,
why can't they just say what he is?
Jesus Christ.
They know what the fuck he is, but they don't want to, whatever. That's what's the problem is with corruption.
Money in politics.
They're not gonna do what they need to do, what they should do morally, because they have too much fucking invested and too much to be found.
So let's review, shall we? Apparently, he did not call for a national disaster, national crisis, or whatever the fuck it was, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing. I expected him to do that too. I thought for sure he was gonna national emergency.
Right.
And thankfully he did not do that.
No. And I mean, it didn't sound a whole lot like a stump speech. I mean, we've all heard his fucking campaign stump speeches. He's been doing this since he's been fucking elected. I mean, it definitely, he was reading this, and I mean, absolutely sure, as I'm sure you are, that Stephen Miller had a hand in writing that. But I mean, pretty much everything he said was a lie.
Yeah. And nothing new, really.
Now, the one thing I do agree with, though, bro, is that it is a humanitarian crisis. There are people down there fucking starving. There are people down there that want to work and want to provide for their families and have come a long fucking way because they're afraid for their fucking life because of our foreign policy in Central and South America. So, I mean, it definitely is a humanitarian issue, and we need to look at that, and it needs to be taken care of. And thank God people like Just Jules are actually, going down there and doing humanitarian work, because it is an issue. I mean, this manufactured bullshit of the people dying from, undocumented immigrants is bullshit.
1 in 3.
Okay, one other thing I want to address, bro. He's talking about all the fucking drugs coming across the border. Really? How many people died of heroin? How many more people died of fucking Oxycontin OD, bro? And Vicodin ODs.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's from big fucking pharma. That's not from, heroin coming across the goddamn border. And you know what, by the way? Heroin comes from opium poppies, yeah?
Yeah, last
and
I
what
checked.
is the biggest... Yeah, and what is the country that grows the most opium poppies?
Fentanyl is the big...
You know?
And before we get to that, I'm just gonna say on a totally unrelated note, bro, that prior to the U.S. invasion to Afghanistan, the Taliban, which are some brutal fucking people. I'm not trying to say I like the Taliban or whatever, but they had done a pretty good job of reducing the poppy output of Afghanistan to something like 40% of the global supply. And then within about, 17 minutes after the invasion of Afghanistan, which was precipitated by the CIA,
back in the 80s.
It's up to it's in the 90 percentile now that the world's heroin yield
which
is brought from Afghanistan.
and there's no it's no coincidence that there's still a war going on in Afghanistan, even though Trump's talking about pulling out the fucking troops, and I'm all about.
Oh, he's not doing it. I didn't believe that for a second, and he didn't. His warmongering generals got up in his shit, and he's totally he's walking that shit back now. He ain't pulling no. That was just something that, like, he probably. It's weird to me. I've really spent a lot of time thinking about why he decided that. I swear to God, he just heard somebody tweeted something, dude, that sent him on a thing where he just thought he'd be brilliant, and I'm going to pull out of Syria now. And then all of his generals are like, no. There's way too much money being made. We're slaughtering way too many fucking people. Like, and
yeah, and it's like, I think I heard something about the Taliban controls like way more land in Afghanistan than they did before. All this shit went on, and it's like if you pull out now, I mean, it's going to cause total fucking chaos. I mean, yeah, you know how I am, bro. I mean, I'm all about ending war, and fuck the, a military-industrial complex. But yeah, it's no coincidence that we've been at war in Afghanistan for 17, 18, 19 years. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I mean, like I'm saying, more people die
The Russians warned us about that.
Vicodin, and those addictions than people die of heroin coming across the fucking border in Mexico. You know what comes across the border in Mexico, bro? You know what comes across the border? Marijuana. And now that America is starting to legalize it a little bit, less of it's coming across.
I don't know. You know what, Mike? I'm sorry. I got to push back on the marijuana coming over the border from Mexico because
there's not that much.
There's just not. I remember, dude. It was.
No, you're right.
And check it out. Let me just say this. It had to have been the early 2000s. Had one guy I could get brown, seedy fucking south of the border weed from because I could afford it, And that was it. It was like hard. Now that's in Reno, which we're closer to like Washington and Oregon and stuff. But that was 20 years ago, and that was the one person who could get the line on it then. And like, what's coming over the border are people who are fleeing the carnage that U.S. foreign policy has wrought on South and Middle America. And I need to get a beer.
They're also ambitious people looking for work.
I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to let you and Shan, just letting you know, you and Shan can shoot the shit for a minute. And I just want to say, what is up to Christopher Formulac? What the fuck, Hunter Red and Black? What the fuck up, Pinko the Bear? I'm glad to have provided you with your final answer of 17 minutes. But yeah, I'm going to go get a beer. And I just sent a message to Just Jules. I haven't seen if she responded yet. I'll check when I come back. And we'll get Just Jules in here and tell us what's legitimately going on.
Oh my God, A-Bear. A-Bear, you are the kind, bro. You got it, brother. You're killing me.
I'm blind. I can't read.
Yeah, anyway. No, I'm just saying that, man. What I was trying to say was that it's not... That was... The marijuana trade, like you said, 20 years ago, was funding their cocaine and basically cocaine trafficking. But since, what is the last 10, 12 years or more, that in the 90s when, marijuana started becoming legal, and we can grow it now in California and all these other
and
states.
hydroponics changed that too.
Yeah, but it's totally undermining, the whole black market, which is, part of what it's supposed to do. So, yeah. I mean, which is a good thing. But no, that's not the crisis. I mean, and the bottom line is that shit isn't coming over from fucking Mexico.
The crisis is a human crisis. It always is.
And a lot of other...
leaving war...
Methamphetamine is manufactured here, dude.
Whether it's a foreign invasion...
You can get the shit here to make meth. Nobody's fucking importing methamphetamine.
No, if anything, they go down and they buy, what they have to show ID for here. That's all that happens. And they bring it back and freaking make it here, usually.
Exactly.
Common sense. He talks about common sense. This person that has none. Like, I don't think he has any. I mean... If you go to the restroom yourself, that's not automatic, right? I'm just saying. Trump, he has no common sense.
Okay, I was
He
kind of
is a
surprised to hear
conspiracy
him
theorist person,
like
you know?
try to have some fucking compassion and empathy. Oh, I talked to these people. I've seen the sadness in their eyes. Are you when? When? I want to see the fucking picture. When did you fucking do
Yeah,
it? Seriously?
I don't even
Come
think
on,
he
Mr. Reality
does that
Show.
for
Show me.
his children. Seriously, he's a callous. Yeah, I don't see that at all for anyone. He just uses things to create fear.
Well, that whole thing was created was fearmongering, and I mean, and
Or
I think
should say
anyone.
people, not
I would like to
things.
think. I would like to think. Anyone with half a brain can see through his fucking lies, but God only knows. I mean, we're dealing with a fucking population of idiots, obviously. That I mean, are still thinking that there's, you know, the Russians are running the fucking show, and that, you know, Mueller's going to come up with some wonderful shit, and we're going to elect him as you know, he's going to run for president next year. It's like, oh my God, seriously, some of the stuff I get right, I'm like, you guys got to get a fucking clue. You know, I mean, even okay, I was watching the interview of AOC on CNN with fucking what's his name with the white hair, and he totally came off right wing.
Well, which one?
Yeah.
Sorry. Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper.
Wolf Blitzer.
That's the one.
Wolf Blitzer?
That's the one. And it's like,
oh gosh,
dude, no, Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper.
And it's like, do you really think the president's a racist? I don't know, bro. How many times have you fucking come on your show and said that the president was racist or he said racist shit? You're asking a fucking question you already know the answer to, you fuck.
Yeah, and he also hit up AOC about how you going to pay for this, how you going to pay for that, and like, yeah, look, dude, he's his parents, he comes from the Vanderbilt fortune. Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
He's a corporate fucker.
No. This is beyond corporate. Comes from one of the wealthiest families like in human
from
history.
Old money.
Old money, bro. That doesn't make him evil. Let me clarify. I'm not trying to say that Anderson Cooper is the evil Illuminati bloodline family reptilian shapeshifter thing, but he is one of the heirs of the Vanderbilt fortune. And so he's in that class. So that doesn't necessarily even mean that he needs to protect their interests or whatever. It's just he's of that mindset. It's like Nietzsche's master morality versus slave morality. Like, the wealthy just have a different sense of the world than we do.
He used to be a field reporter. He did go to war zones.
Sure.
See shit.
So let me throw this
out.
They were talking about this on Tom Hartman today.
I think it has
you know
to
how
do
TSA
with
is calling
the
out?
Job he has.
Go ahead, Chan.
Okay, I'm sorry. It just like cut out, I think, because I heard nothing. No, I just think it has to do more with the corporation he works for, because that's how everything works. You can't be real and honest. You'll get fired.
Exactly.
You have to abide by the rules. Doesn't matter if it's CBS or CNN. This is how the world is. You're
they're all
disposable.
corporations.
You get someone else.
Hang on, I gotta mute.
Oh, wow. Something came up with Jules. Unfortunately, we will not be able to hear from her this evening.
Oh, I'm bumming.
But, the bottom line, yeah. She's, okay, yeah. She just got caught up somewhere. It's super loud. Like, she would even call, but she can't because it's just, oh, well, it happens. But
I understand that one.
Yeah, totally. But I will suggest people check. There's a video on our channel. We just recently posted. It's how can you help refugees at the border? It's a full report of just Jules from down at the border. It's fucking amazing. Did we just lose you, Mike? Yep.
I gotta go potty.
Oh, okay. You know what? You know what we should do, guys? Let me play a little bit of music, and let's regroup. Hey, Shannon.
And I can use the restroom.
Yeah. So I'm
Yes.
gonna play some music. I would sure like to talk to Mike Gams. Do you think he might be interested in calling us?
Probably, if he's available.
Well, I'm gonna put on this here record. It is a 7-inch record that I put out years ago called A Benefit for the Reno Food Not Bombs. It features Intifada, The Dread, Fanatics, Scabies, my old band Eversquelch, Gob, and Bristle. So I'm going to play that. Can you disconnect, Shan, and maybe get a hold of Mike and see if he's willing to hang out and talk with us?
Yeah, and then you want me to call you back or what?
Just send me a message via the Facebook Messenger to let me know if you've heard from him or not, and I'll call you back. Okay.
We'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So this side starts out with Intifada, The Dread, and the Fanatics. I believe it's 33. It is. It's 33. Portland. Dread from the Bay Area. This is Athena, who's now in Vote-Set. Running 6 Weeks Records. So I put the record out with. Hey, Mike? This also features on backup vocals Jeff from Capitalist Casualties, who was Athena's husband. Athena from the Dread and Vote-Set and 6 Weeks Records. Jeff, Capitalist Casualties.
I won't go, no, you can't make me go.
Denver. Fanatics from Denver. So this is first, it's Scabies, who is from Carson City, Nevada. And their drummer became the drummer of my old band, which is the next band, Eversquelch. Then Gob, which is one of the most amazing fucking noise bands that has ever existed. And they're from Reno. And then Bristle, from Seattle.
The year out, the warlord said, what said the dying among the dead? War is good, yelled the Tizo kind. What said the wounded, the maimed and blind?
This is my old band right here. My first band. Moo Corn Goddess of Bong, MC Gob, otherwise known as Gob. The original. Who Gob from Vancouver literally stole their name from. I'm telling you, man, it's one of the most amazing bands there ever was. For real. That's true. Fact checking real time A-Bears chat. Absolutely factual. No act. For the future's eyes, you know they would be idolized. You know, if that was actually really good advice that we should have heeded from Bristle from Seattle. Because the song, as you can tell, it's a total rip-off of the Ramones style musically. That was on purpose, because the song was about, you gotta remember, this record came out in the early 90s. Or late 90s, mid 90s. But it's called Cryonized, and it's about, they wanted to cryonize all the Ramones. And like, are you hearing me, Michael? Turn your shit on.
Yes, I'm totally hearing you.
So they wanted to cryonize. They wanted to
I
cryonize
hear
the
you.
Ramones and save them, and then thaw them out later when people have lost their shit and don't, need like a head check. Thaw out the Ramones and bring them back, but nobody heeded the advice and. Okay, I'm gonna call Shannon and bring her back in.
Yeah, do that, please. I'm
She
fucking around on the chat.
no,
Like,
and
I'm
she
just
talked
trying.
to Mike Gams. We're gonna talk about Mike Gams. He's not gonna be able to join us just yet. He might join us later, but we're gonna talk about.
And you want to really? Yes, we need to explain who this new member of the family is. Apparently.
Yeah. Mike
No, just
Mike co-founded this thing that he doesn't
Hello?
get to know who's a part of.
right. All of a sudden, we have new family members. I'm like, oh, somebody just had a baby.
Yep.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, I'm all what?
We're talking about
I'm
Mike Gams.
clueless.
So apparently he's busy as well. Nobody wants to join our bullshit, dude. I'm not
No,
surprised.
it's not that. He's just out and about and it's really loud. And I told him that our live shows, it's okay. They're kind of raunchy, so I have noise factor too.
Yeah.
But
I'll bet you we can
it's
get
more
people
that
from
he
the
can't
chat to
concentrate.
join us.
He can't hear.
I bet we could.
No, he can't.
Well, we got Hey Bear and Hunter on there, and we got the Kahuna,
You
and
know,
we got Mr. Black.
we need to get Hunter on here.
Big shout out to Mr. Black.
Wait a minute. Hunter said he just met
Hi,
Gams.
Mr.
Oh,
Black.
in the chat. But yeah, let's so Shannon, tell our viewers who the hell Mike Gams is.
Well,
Or just tell me.
don't even. I don't even know how we hooked up. I mean, it was activism somehow. I think he was covering some bash something somewhere. I don't think it was in California. Anyway, and that's how, and he's funny. He's funny, so I just.
Yeah, well, he's not
liking
just
to him.
funny. He's making a go at being funny, right? I mean, he's a comedian.
Yes, he's a comedian. That.
Oh, okay,
kinda
so he's a
covers
comic.
Fascist stuff.
We could use some more comedy on this in this family.
I know, because we are not funny. We're not even remotely funny.
I try the best I can
I
to,
know
like, you know, bring a little
I mean, look, we're
comedic relief.
I'd say me and Mike are both pretty fucking funny looking, but like that's only
yeah, whether
that laugh only goes
that.
so far, though. You know what I mean?
We do what we can.
We do what we can. Sometimes we're funny. It's just there's
Hey,
not.
I
a
gotta
lot
go.
of
Hang on, I'll be right
stuff,
back.
So
Give me a
it's
sec.
hard to pull sometimes.
No, you need to listen. What are you doing? You're in the middle of explaining to you who the fuck Mike Gams is and he fucking splits.
Well, see, that's the thing.
You can hold your
can
pee,
pull
dude.
from this
You
shit
can hold your pee.
and pull it off, and he is funny. That's what makes a comedian, I guess. We're not really comedians. We're just kind of sarcastic.
Okay, well, so look, so Shannon, in whatever capacity or whatever, stumbles across Mike Gams, and is really impressed.
On social media, on Facebook, he
Right.
has a page.
And she was just really loving the stuff that he was posting, and then following him on other social medias and seeing things that he was posting, and then like periodically she would share it with us in the P4P family chat. And yeah, we just loved it.
You guys would laugh.
Yeah, it was great. And like so we started following the stuff that he does, and God, he's a comedian and stuff, but he's such a legit, just like Gonzo
He's
style.
super active.
Yeah, he's Gonzo style though, kind of like us. You know, like fuck it, I have the means that I have, and I'm just gonna go out and do this, and you know, it's direct action stuff that he's involved in, and I really like him, and like so I reached out to him and said, hey, we should interview you, and then I was like, but you know what? I kind of pawned it off on Shannon. She was, I think, not happy with me.
Yeah, and he didn't tell me, and I was gone for hours dealing with. Oh my goodness! I watched your newest video, Aaron. By the way, good job.
Oh,
and
thank
that scene on the train reminded me of that woman and her the man in Target yesterday that were telling me what I can and cannot do. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
So I pawned it off on Shannon to say, hey, you know what? Not only do I want to do it, you know, deal with it.
He reached out, and I reached back out, and Aaron reached out, and then now.
And we're always.
Mike is going to be covering the teacher's strike the first day,
which he was already planning on doing, and so like, look, we're always on the lookout for people who want to provide content, people that are motivated and out doing stuff anywhere in the world. If you're out doing shit and you're a proper leftist and you hate capitalism, right? You don't even have to be a punk rocker. It fucking helps a lot, but you don't have to be. But just give a shit about marginalized people. Give a shit about marginalized communities and minority groups, LGBTQ people, refugees, African American groups, Black Lives Matter, Latinx community stuff. I mean, like
this is something that we kind of based of this whole project on was giving voice to people that not necessarily had voice. I mean, and honestly, I mean. We're not hitting that many people. There's people that are reaching a lot more, but we're reaching a few. And we're just, you know, we started doing it basically for ourselves, but we also wanted to give a voice to other people who we felt, you know, had the same kind of mindset that we did. And we brought in Shannon, and we brought in Bobby, and we brought in Rad, and we brought in Hunter. And this is exactly what
Jules,
this whole project started.
And now Mike Gams.
Exactly.
And here's the thing: is like, look,
I'm stoked to have him here. I mean, and I'm just saying, you know what I mean? When we started out as Punks for Progress, punks is plural. So I am so stoked that we're bringing in all these people and even all these guys in the chat, man. Mr. Black, he's always hanging out with us, and A-Bear may not always be on the show, but he's definitely a Punk for Progress. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what I mean? This is all. Just, you know, it's a community of people that give a fucking shit and are hate capitalism.
Well,
Bottom line, hate fucking capitalism.
right. And here's the thing: is like, look, Mike and I were cis white heterosexual males. That's what we are. Okay. And it's important for white privileged heterosexual males like ourselves to speak up for other marginalized communities who are mostly abused by the systemic power that a lot of cis white hetero Christian males whatever have in this world. But and it's important for us to do that, and we want to do that. But what's even more important is letting those marginalized people fucking speak for themselves. Like,
Sure.
That's the other problem too. Is like there's too many
level.
people that look like us that are telling those people what we're doing for you and what we're gonna. This is what needs to be done, and like, it bothers me. It bothers me that we're. Let me
We're
finish.
also bringing in other.
Let me finish,
other
bro.
perspectives.
Please, let me finish. It's like, and then I'll let you go. I promise. But like, it does bother me that. We're the primary voices here at Punks for Progress. I want this to be a way more mixed bag, and that's a call to you. And if you are a fucking cis white male, that's good too. Contact us. It's not like we're not going to exclude you, because I mean that's us too. But
No,
like,
and what happened? What happened on Facebook this week, bro? Didn't we get a message from somebody in Australia that had some fucking rad video of some action that was going down there that wanted to share with us? I mean, this is exactly what we wanted this platform to be. Is the voice for people that needed it. I mean, and that's what we're doing. So, I mean...
Yeah, and wasn't there somebody the week before from the UK?
That what? Say that again, Chan?
Stuff with us.
What's that?
There was somebody the week before from the UK sharing stuff with us.
Yep. That's what we want. More of that.
Exactly. So yeah, if you have something that you want to share, that's
and only
as the Reverend would say, righteous. Hit us up.
Let's get Hunter Red and Black in here. I want to talk to Hunter Red and Black. I do. No, he's such a fucking. The music he's making right now is so rad, and like, he's just such a cool dude. And listen, and we're launching our first satellite Facebook page here in a couple days, and Hunter's gonna run it, the P for P West Virginia page. So let's get this little fucker on here and have a chat with him.
Yeah, he needs to quit sharing Ramones. Come on, Hunter.
Just answer the guy.
What?
It's like
What's
9,
that?
almost 10 o'clock this time.
Hunter. Hunter. There he is. I see something. Make noise, Hunter. I think you have your audio muted, homie. Hello?
We've run into this problem a couple times before, remember?
Hunter, I'm going to hang up. Call me right back, okay?
Oh, Mr. Black. Thank you, sir.
Did you wake Hunter up?
No,
Aaron?
no. He's been sitting here chatting. He's been in the chat. That's why I knew I could.
Yeah, I was doing shit. I'm like, you're late, bro. He's like, it's only like 9:30, man. It's not even dark there.
Just crack Nick up.
Oh, you know what? I have to add him. That's what it is.
To the chat?
Yeah, to the one that we're in.
To me?
Yeah. That's why we couldn't hear him.
It's your fault.
No, it's pretty much your fault somehow, but. No, did I just hang up on you both? Are you still there, Shan? Oh my god.
Oh, no Shan.
Because that was my fault too that you just hung up on me.
Yes, it was.
I know.
It was your fault.
Darn
Yes.
it, I thought I had time to blow my nose.
There we go. Hunter?
Whoa. Hello?
Hunter, red and black! We did stuff. Look how we technologied. We're Gen Xers and we still technologied. It took us 20 minutes of fucking... Welcome, Hunter. How are you, homie?
I'm doing good. Just out about in my room, just chilling.
So, before we get into the Punks P for P West Virginia, let's talk about this album you're working on, dude.
All right. So what do you want to hear about it?
Whatever you want to say about it. I mean,
Oh, okay. Well, this whole album thing I'm working on is going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be called Anarchy and Other Things, and about 11, 12 songs.
Nice.
Pretty decent amount.
How would you describe your style?
I would describe it kind of like, I would say folk punk, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, it's in a evolving style, right? But it's it's just primarily vocals and acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
Very leftist, socialist, anti-capitalist, pro-anarchist, lyrical content, and like yeah, right? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, it's basically that. It's basically a whole bunch of music that I just put everything into. Like, sometimes I provide, like, social commentary or just commentary of my own life. And basically, I don't know, music's my life, so something I like to do, something that interests me, something I like to share with people, get them in the mood to actually go out there and get into the world and fucking fight the fascists.
And an outlet.
Yeah, it's an outlet too.
That's important.
yeah, Mike wants to give you shit about the Ramones for some reason. I don't know what that is, but
Somebody was sharing Ramones on our page, and I'm like, come on, man. We could dig a little deeper than
wasn't me,
Ramones,
man.
right?
It was probably
yeah, there you go. You better fucking back the fuck up off Hunter, Michael, because I will smack that fucking all three of those hairs off the top of your head, dude. You fucker.
It wasn't me. There's a song.
Why can't we share the Ramones though? I don't understand. Why can't we?
Well, that's not no. What? Okay, here's where I'm coming from. Is like right in the beginning, Aaron. Remember when we were doing the show and we were throwing in like videos and stuff, and every time we throw in Ramones or Clash, the video would get fucking blocked.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I'm like,
that's
okay,
Oh, that hasn't
fuck them
happened since I've been
corporate
doing it.
goddamn punk rock bands. I mean, I used to have a subscription to
Well,
SiriusXM, right?
I have to. You can't say fuck those corporate punk rock bands because they now have corporations are using their music or have. Look, dude, you can't call Joe Strummer a fucking corporate punk rocker. You know, somebody's got background noise.
Right. I
Does somebody have a blender?
I agree with that, but it's just like the mainstream has taken over. You know, a lot. Seems like they've taken over a lot of these bands. Like I said, what I was going to say is I had a subscription to SiriusXM and I would listen to Faction, which played a lot of punk rock, but it's what I called corporate punk rock. Basically, it was the same fucking bands. It was like NoFX and Dropkick Murphys, and I mean, it was all these very popular, you know, record producing type bands, and it's like, you know, what turns me on are the these kids that I hear on in the backyard shows that are actually like going back to punk rock's roots, you know, of garage and that. Remember that Black Flag sound and that circle jerk sound on Group Sex, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that kind of like, hey, yeah, we recorded this in the garage, man. I mean, there's something that's just fucking raw and gnarly about that I dig, okay? And some of this way cleaned up stuff is okay, but I much prefer, you know, something I haven't heard before that I go, wow, that just made me get fucking chicken skin right now. That was cool.
Hey, Hunter.
And a lot of times, Aaron, let me say this one thing real quick.
Okay.
Is a lot of times the stuff, like, you have a way more vast knowledge of older punk rock than I do, especially some of the British stuff and, you know, like Peni and not that they're British, but I mean some of this other stuff that I don't have a lot of listening time to. That when I hear you play this stuff, I'm like, oh, that's so good, right? So that's all I'm saying is, like, I more prefer something that I haven't heard in a long time, or, you know, something I haven't heard before that just really, you know.
But you're acting like you can't share what
I'm gonna
you're
ask
talking
Hunter
about,
something.
dude. What the fuck? Like,
I'm sorry.
and who
Sam.
doesn't like the Ramones? Aren't we like?
I'm not saying I don't like the Ramones. The Ramones are awesome, but I'm just saying there's so much more. And how about
Okay, Hunter, which what the fuck report was it that we put that video of your song in? Can you remember which number that was? I'd like to play that video, and I just can't remember.
I know it was I think it was the Luxury Gay Space Anarchism episode.
Excellent. I will find it right now. Resume trying to
listen
explain
to you
why
guys.
we can't share the Ramones discussion. Which,
The Ramones became corporate after everybody died, though.
No shit, right, Shannon?
Right.
They didn't sell out while they were alive.
they tried like hell. I mean,
No.
that they didn't, not to sell out, but to, like, look, all the
Freaking,
CBGBs, all the New York original 77 fucking, like, punk rock people wanted to be rich and famous. That was their goal, unabashedly. But they just wanted to do it playing their stuff and creating art their way, you know, on their terms. And, like, so being famous and getting rich off of your art your way is not fucking selling out. What selling out is, you know what? Maybe if we just changed it this way or softened it there or maybe added this kind of riff here, we could get more radio play and a better record deal. That's fucking selling out. So.
No, and I think, well, I mean, who doesn't aspire? What musician doesn't aspire to make money doing what they love doing? Who,
right.
On that, as far as
some
that,
actually
who
don't.
doesn't want to make money doing what they love doing?
I mean, to support themselves.
I mean,
but
just it's.
some
Here's what's
can't
sad, you
give
guys,
up.
and I think Abear will
I got
back me up
something
on
to say.
this. Is the fact that we have to make money to survive doing, and we're lucky if we get to do it with what we love doing. It's bullshit that, you know what I'm saying? We should have
Hunter,
the stuff that we need to live
on.
should be automatically provided because we have the fucking technology, you know, so that we have the time to go and create art and to create music and to create video and other different things that, you know, all of us.
But what I write is my outlet, and if it helps somebody, that's what I do it for. I don't do it for anything else other than that. That's all I do it for. Besides, writers and poets don't fucking make money, so we all know that.
Right, you do it for yourself. You do it because it's
never.
in you.
I've never.
But I
I'm
mean,
actually
the bottom line is, it's sad that we have to make money
hesitant to
doing
share,
that.
So speaking of doing it for yourself, this is Hunter Red Black song.
But wait, Hunter had something to say.
Oh yeah, I had something to say.
Okay.
Today in this like capitalist society, like you have to make money to live, and that is sadly the fact. But like me with like my music, like I don't care if I make anything at all. I just want to hope to reach somebody, you know?
It's the same type. It's the outlet thing.
Yeah.
That's why you're here on Punch Progress, bro, because we're doing the same thing.
So check it out.
This is about reaching out and not making money.
And
New
so-
world, everyone.
That's right. And this is Hunter Red and Black New World. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about P for P, West for fucking Virginia, man. But check it out. Hunter Red and Black New World.
And just a whole hell of a lot more. So yeah, we go really fast. But we should check out this fucking brand new video by Hunter Red Black. What do you say?
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to have me a beer. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's watch the butters fall. See equality grow. In this world we must stand tall. Fight against the oppressors of the state. Don't let them guide our fate. It would be a big mistake if we let them make the moves they take. Say goodbye to the old failed world. The revolution comes, our dreams will be fulfilled. From keeping their pockets filled with the tears of people they killed. We should fight for the new world. We should fight for the new world. We should fight for the new world. Revolution's gonna come. Revolution's gonna come. Revolution's gonna come. Revolution's gonna come. Damn capitalists should feel the pain of everyone in this world.
Ooh, gives me shivers.
What happens?
Nice job, Hunter Red and Black.
Well, thank you.
And that is just a
I
taste
owe it to
of
you
the
for the
album. to
video,
come.
man.
What's that? Well, that was just so fun. As soon as you posted it, I was just like, oh, I know what to do with this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, is Mike out peeing again? Probably. He's such a peer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give me a minute. Yes, sir.
MR Black says it sounds like Woody Guthrie.
Oh, well, thank you. I do like me some Woody Guthrie.
Yeah, you fucking
He's
better.
big. Well, he's a, kind of like an influence. He's like one of the first punk rockers.
Right? Yeah, it's a people's music. That's what punk rock is. And that's what folk music is. And that's what Celtic, original, like, you know, I used to be in Scurvy Bastards, and we played that traditional Celtic sea shanty style Irish Scottish folk music. And I actually wrote a paper once and did a presentation for a class on tracing people's folk music from the lute to the guitar and punk rock, and did a full presentation. And of course, I got a fucking A on it. Are you fucking kidding me? But it's all punk rock. It's all punk rock. You know, punk rock. What punk rock in? It's many things, but one of the things I think it was hey, society. Remember when the people had a voice and just expressed their shit, and it didn't have to be validated by, you know, prestige and bourgeois fucking, you know, communities to be seen as real fucking art. And punk rock, I think that's one of the greatest contributions punk rock made, is it said, hey...
I know people hate it when I say this, but I really think it's a continuation of the hippie stuff.
No, of course it is. But we learn the lessons of the hippies.
It's a continuation of
Look,
freedom of speech.
I love you fucking and doing drugs is awesome, and as emancipating as that was, it didn't fix everything. Like I think we as punks looked at like our parents. Both my parents were total fucking hippies, man. And like,
mine were 50s. My dad was like a leather jacket greaser.
I looked at that generation and said, okay, I think that the struggles that you went through in the 60s were righteous as fuck and should never ever be denied. But then but the total, like, they didn't know that experimenting in drugs that way was going to do what it did. So you look at the 70s and it all falls apart in the 70s, and there's all these ODs. And look, I love you is a wonderful sentiment, and we need so much more love in this world. But that is not the organizing principle under which we're all going to defeat the oppressive mechanisms of capitalism is, I love you, man. That's not going to cut it.
Well, I love you is sometimes saying fuck you. So
that's right.
That's what punks brought to the table, is a bit more honesty. Because there were tweakers at Ashbury. We know this. There was a major problem with meth. we do know this. And heroin.
Yep.
What I was going to say is the difference between like punks and hippies is like the direct action part and then the pacifism. And I think direct action is more, you know, worth it than pacifism, because I think you get a lot more from actually standing up against than just saying, please, you know, help us, you know.
No, that's totally true. That's totally true, Hunter.
And that's why the Black Panthers were demonized.
Right. And you know what? And so a lot of these, it's like, look, man, the hippies were all about direct action in the day during the civil rights struggle and the anti-Vietnam struggle, and like, and like what happened was like they got a little comfortable and got careers and became yuppies, and then a lot of them bought into Reagan's fucking Morning in America bullshit and became Reagan Democrats and. Right, Mike? I mean,
that was the born again Jesus commune influence too.
Let me get Mike's ugly mug up in here.
To some extent, I'm kind of glad I wasn't alive during the Reagan era, but I mean, like,
that's right. You weren't alive at all during Reagan.
Music.
God. So Hunter's 11. People should know he's 11 years old, and right. Are you 12 now? I'm sorry, bro. Are you 12 now? I don't mean to disrespect.
I've been 12 for the past 18 years.
Well, I would say for the last 6 years, but math doesn't matter. It's okay. It's 2019.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about. You know, we should probably talk about punk rock bowling, but I think we should talk about P4P West Virginia first.
All right.
So, in I think 2 days, we're going to launch our first satellite page to do regional coverage in an area where we have only Hunter Red and Black at the moment in West Virginia.
Hello.
So, if you're watching this and you follow us on our Facebook page, please, we'll post links to the main Punks for Progress page, so you can like and follow the page that Hunter is going to run for us and properly represent West Virginia.
Will the theme song be "Satellite of Love"? I'm sorry, that was whatever. See, those beatniks also came out of that era too, though. Beatniks were a bit more.
Shannon, I totally got that one.
What? I'm the only one that got it. See, I'm not the comedian here.
No, Shannon, I got it. I got you. The Satellite of Love. I got you, baby.
Okay, so you're just as big of a dork as I am.
So Hunter
Aaron was talking about love and whatever.
So Hunter has been doing his research, doing his homework, following lots of different Facebook pages for proper righteous leftist activist groups in his area, so that he can be sharing really timely, substantive content to that page, and and bringing your own unique sense of dorkdom, right, Hunter?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Probably sharing the occasional Ramones too, right? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
showing lots of music.
Excellent. We're gonna go to punk rock bowling.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Punk rock bowling. Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Take the skinheads bowling. Take them bowling.
We went before, remember, Mike?
I do. And it was like the time of my life. And I got to drink a whiskey with Paul McKenzie from the Real Mackenzies. And I don't remember even taking the picture that's hanging up behind me or right there. I don't remember. I don't know who that guy is. But yeah, it was quite the time, and I ran into some dude I knew from fucking Chino, and I'm like, ah, dude, fuck, oh my god, dude, 3 fucking days of punk rock debauchery in Las Vegas, and you know what? Oh my god, it was so much fun. Oh dude, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, it's like the punk rock Super Bowl. Yeah.
Well, one of them. Regionally, it is. I mean, you've got Rebellion Fest in Europe, and there's a lot of these kind of big festivals. But punk rock bowling is just really fun. Well, Mike and I also screamed and yelled at each other. I mean, look, we went on video a bunch of times looking all fucking good, but we were fucking fighting like motherfuckers because that's my brother. It's my closest fucking days. Yeah, only 1 or 2 of the 3 days we screamed at each other. But that's my fucking best brother. But we're gonna.
Didn't I buy you an album, or didn't I get you an album signed by
Coxbar?
Coxbar, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we played that in the election coverage live stream. We played that record actually. How long have we been live streaming? We've been live streaming for an hour.
That was a good time, man.
How long have we been going? Gosh, almost 2 hours. Almost 2
so
hours.
Overwhelming.
I'm just kind of nervous because I've never been out west before, so it's my first time. Oh man.
Well,
Cowboys are going to
get you. I doubt that it wouldn't be awesome, you know?
It's like Disneyland in the middle of
the
desert.
But we're all going. Radcon's going. Kylie the Kronkenswester's going. Just Jules is going.
Cowboy.
I like to keep this.
Panthers are playing.
Let me just say, I like to keep this comrades anonymity chill. But we have a P4P family member who isn't always engaged with us as much from up in the Seattle area, Shannon, who I've talked to and might be joining us at Punk Rock Bowling.
Awesome.
Shut
that will be awesome.
the fuck up.
So,
ooh, that sounds cool.
Just a really righteous anti-fascist comrade that's taken some serious fucking hits and keeps fucking going, man. Been through
That
some
was
shit in a
there
hard
in
time.
the very beginning when I was there in the very beginning.
Yeah, I was with P4P like way early, and yeah. So I spoke with them recently, and it looks like they might be joining us.
That'd be rad, dude.
Right, with their kid.
Yep.
And we got this like. We
we're
got a
bringing our
screaming
fucking
fucking deal on this Airbnb place, like ridiculously inexpensive for what it is, but it's 5 different units that all have their own kitchens, 1 bedrooms with living rooms and full bathrooms, but it's this like pinup model in Vegas that owns it. So each room is themed differently, but it's all this leopard skin shit and checkerboards and like pinball machines and shit and like. And so we're gonna have straight edge headquarters because we got some members of the P4P family that are in recovery and fucking kicking ass doing that shit. And so we're gonna have a solid hold up for people who don't want to be dumbasses like some of us will want to be, right? And so like. But yeah, but it's cool, and we're gonna be bringing you guys a bunch of different live stream stuff, and we'll be getting video. There's so many dudes, the Stranglers, the Specials, Total Massacre, fucking.
Oh, yeah.
God, who else? Barry
Yeah.
Manilow. I'm pretty sure that Tennille's gonna be there. The captain won't be able to make it, but.
Rancid, Tim Timebomb and Friends.
Oh, yeah.
ABBA, right?
Descendants,
Tony
right?
Orlando and Dawn.
Tony, well, it's Tony Orlando and the Dons now because copyright, whatever. I mean, they're so fucking punk rock still,
but I
though.
think they're. Aren't they playing the
You
side
guys,
stage, or maybe
I
they're
had
playing
a crush
club
on
gig?
Tony Orlando growing up.
Of course
I
you
watched
did.
That so religiously. Sorry.
The captain
true.
and Tennille.
I already said that Tennille's going to be there, but obviously the captain can't make it.
Oh, what about the Starlight Vocal Band?
I don't know.
And Foreigner. Isn't Foreigner headlining one?
I don't
night?
know, man. Look, we're in negotiations with Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass at the moment to see if they're.
Wait a minute.
Well, we can't get
Wait a
them
minute,
on
Brad.
the stage at Punk Rock Bowling, but they're going to stay with us. And then we're going to try. We're going to try and bum rush the Punk Rock Bowling stage with Herb Albert's
Nobody's
Tijuana Brass.
staying with me but Nick.
Did anybody happen to get a hold of our most famous Twitter follower, Eddie Money, and ask him if he would like to join us?
No, you know why? Because check this out, bro. There's dun 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 new developments in the Eddie Money saga, which involves Pinko the Bear.
I saw him
oh,
on
shit.
videos one time.
So
Never mind.
to get people up to speed, Mike,
Not on
you're gonna need to quit jamming food in your face and tell people why Punks for Progress cares about Eddie Money at all.
Okay, so like when we started Punch for Progress, I grabbed the Twitter handle, right? And God, I swear to God, within the first year, Eddie Money started to follow us. And I'm like the legit Eddie Money, like Twitter, like yeah, dude, start following. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, I barely tweet. I don't do a whole lot of social media, and Twitter is like the least of the ones that I.
So
do.
he texts me. He's like,
And
dude,
I'm like-
dude, Eddie Money is following us on Twitter, and I'm like,
right?
fuck off.
And so
What?
we start doing our Eddie Money minute just in case he might be listening.
Yeah.
to
So
us,
we
right?
completely lost our shit. But like, not because Eddie Money is so great or awesome or whatever. I mean, I don't care how many tickets he bought to Paradise. I ain't going with him. Okay.
I haven't seen him here.
But like, it was just so like befuddling and dumbfounding that he would follow us. Why is Eddie Money following us? You know. So what we did is like early on. Please don't go back and listen to our first season of shows. But if you were ever to torture yourself,
You
and
just
such,
invited everyone.
I know all 7,423,000 people. Wait, subtract the 3, 6 people watching.
Yeah.
Anyway, we what we started doing was ending our show with the Eddie Money Minute, and like. And dude, I was going around introducing myself to people like, "Hi, I'm Aaron. Eddie Money follows me on Twitter."
Brad, I remember. Yeah, I remember. It's just, it blows my mind. Like, why? Really? Seriously?
Yeah, so we started doing this Eddie Money Minute. Well, we started doing the Eddie Money Minute, and like, what it was like, we would try to let you know if Eddie Money was playing, like your local Indian casino or whatever. Which he did.
I saw him downtown.
We did. And then we would give advice to Eddie Money. Remember? And it would be like, okay, my bit of advice for Eddie Money and your bit of advice for Eddie Money, just in case he was listening. But A-Bear, you know what, A-Bear? Fuck it. He's watching.
Yeah, he's watching.
Yeah.
Eddie Money, the musician from the Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yes, sir.
And we're let's see here. Hey, Bear. It's ringing him.
Did I just get added?
Oh my goodness. Pinko the Bear, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. What's up, Ponce? I was typing in the chat, and then I saw my screen disappeared, and I had to take my headphones off. But yeah, what's going on?
Well, we were so I got everyone up to speed. First of all, welcome, comrade.
Hi.
Glad to be here.
So
I needed the depression. I've had a rough few days.
Can we bring both in? Let's see what happens here. No, we can't. Well, actually, yes, we can. Hold on a second. Let me do some tech magic here. So, what we were talking about was Eddie Money, and I said that A-Bear has a specific, like I explained how we were like so excited about Eddie Money following us on Twitter, and then come to find out though, our good comrade A-Bear has a completely different understanding of Eddie Money.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So should I just go tell that story?
So you're on video now, and go right into it, buddy.
Yeah, let me pick my nose one time.
Please pick it.
All right. So I had to spend like 6 weeks in Reno this summer, and part of that time there with my parents was spending it going to a classic car show. It's called Hot August Nights, where all the rich white rich white old people with too much money and too much Fox News on their mind drive around in their extremely expensive restored, hot rods and 55 Chevy.
Yeah, vintages.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, really, for car culture and stuff, it's very cool. And I've been going to these with my dad for about 25 years, and it's actually cool. But there's been a real change lately. And there's a place called the Grand Sierra Resort, which is basically a casino hotel with a huge parking lot. And each night...
So let me just stop you real quick. A-Bear, let's just give you a little background. The Grand Sierra has been owned by many different people, but it was originally the MGM Grand. When I first moved to Reno, the lion that you see in all the beginning of the MGM movies was kept in a space, I swear to God, about as big as this set. And you could come and look at it through glass, and it would look at you and just go, "Kill me."
Oh, they had a real life lion, that's right.
Yeah, it was the lion. It was gross. But anyway, it's one of the major staple casinos of Reno, and they have.
Hotel at one point, but
so anyway, I just wanted to give the little reference. It's now called the Grand Sierra, but that's where Abear was at.
GSR. And so the deal is each night, all the major casinos, they find these has-been oldies groups, if they can find somebody that's still alive, that'll come around and play. And if they're not still alive, they find the guy from Vegas who does the karaoke version of Neil Diamond, right? Or they find like Peter Dude, who had like 2 songs, but he can do a bunch of other people's songs from the 60s and talk. Anyway, it's really bad. Paul Revere and the Raiders, whatever. If you're lucky, you catch Kool and the Gang, right? Maybe Joan Jett last year one time.
No, that was the rib cook-off. No. I gotta correct you on the Joan Jett one, because that was at John Esquaga's rib cook-off that she's done every year, which is a totally different, really street fun party thing.
Right, but she came and did Hot August Nights too.
At GSR?
So,
anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Side tangent.
So that was the only hit.
Love Joan.
But basically it's geared for people that are 67 to 85 years old and have a net worth of, 2 to 7, 20, $40 million. So what's happened is the difference is you used to go and you looked at the cars and nobody talked politics and you just like asked about like the rebuild and who did this and how did you make this happen and did you cut the roof and all this kind of interesting like mechanical shit. But this last year, I'm there with my dad, cousins that came down, people from his car club, and there's like 20. We're getting drunk on the parking lot. We're getting ready for the concert.
Hold on. Background noise. And Mike, you're on video still? Okay. But
Sorry,
I think there's a little background noise in Hunter's feed. Hunter, are you clanking around or something, dude?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I dropped something.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Abear, go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
Use your authoritarian skills. Use those motherfuckers. So here's the deal. So we're trying to keep it short. So what happened was, instead of just the announcer coming on and saying, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, the 27th annual Hot August Nights car show, blah, blah, blah. Hope you're enjoying it. And now, Eddie Money, right? Instead of that, it's everyone, please stand for the national anthem. Like, what? What?
Okay, so, Michael, Punker Mike, have you ever been to a concert where someone got on the mic and said, please stand for the... Have you ever been to a concert, put punk rock aside. You've been to a bunch of other concerts where they ever said, let's please stand for the national anthem at a concert. Ever.
No. Like 2,000 people here and all these expensive cars. We all have our lawn chairs and we have our booze and whatever else we've got. I think mostly it was Prozac and Oxycontin and fentanyl. But I mean, anyway, so we're doing this thing, and me and my cousin are sitting. And my cousin's my age, and like we might have been high as fuck, and we're facing the stage, and then these people that are in their 70s that are with my parents, they're standing in front of me, and they turn around, and this woman who's drunk as fuck, she hits me in the shoulder. Now, I've had heart surgery, right? She hits me in the shoulder, and it's like, bleh. And I'm like, what? She says, it's the national anthem. I'm like, what? She's like, stand up, it's the national anthem. And I didn't know what to say, because I wasn't standing up. My fucking cousin did not miss a beat. Looking through her black sunglasses, looks up and says, he's disabled and we're Canadian. This licking motherfucking woman. She had nothing to say. She like, okay. She turns around, puts her hand on her heart, and sings some of the words to the national anthem that she thought she knew. And all of these people were like standing like this because the concert was going to start, and Eddie fucking Money, man, hasn't had a hit since like 2 Tickets to Paradise, Shaken, and some other shit nobody cares about. Like, and then what he does when his show is on, he spends half of the show talking about how great the troops are, how much he supports the troops. And after the show, if you come around to the side of the stage, he will personally autograph for, $20, $25. He'll autograph a t-shirt, and that money won't go to him because he's got plenty of money because, he's playing.
He's Eddie Money.
DSR, right? He's Eddie Money.
He's made out of it.
Yeah. But he's going to give all that money to the troops. Like, and he was so full of shit. And his dad was a cop. His grandfather was a cop. His uncles and cousins, everybody, they're all fucking Long Island criminals. Long Island, New York, not too far from here. Fucking criminals.
Oh, that's right. I always thought he was from New Jersey. It's Long Island.
Fucking zeros, man.
Hashtag ACAC. All cops are criminals.
Yeah, exactly. All cops are criminals. So we listen to his bullshit. Oh, and not only that, he has a kid who sucks, who wants to be a musician, but, being the good dad he is, he puts his kid out there for like 4 fucking songs. Are you kidding? And he keeps saying, oh, my kid, he's a really good kid, man. He's got good grades, he's a good kid. You're gonna love him, man. Give him a chance, you're gonna love him. You're gonna love him. Like, no, we don't. We're going to the bathroom, we're getting a beer. Fuck that guy. We came to hear Shaking, 2 Tickets to Paradise, and whatever that other song you had that we kind of thought we knew. And, we wanted to get drunk on the parking lot. Fuck you and your kid. Anyway, and fuck your national anthem and your bootlicking and your cop loving and your signing for the troops. The whole thing was so surreal. I will never go to another one of these goddamn car shows with my dad. I love my dad. He's getting old. He's 80, but I am not doing this again. I'm just not doing it.
So my dad's 80 also.
Yeah. Hard to say no.
So, Abear, we were talking about, you and I, since I got you on the line, about starting a new series of shows on Punks for Progress. Sort of, we didn't come up with a name for it, but it's sort of like This Week in U.S. Imperialism, or, right, where we would sort of pick one moment in U.S. imperialist tyranny and oppression and cover it and discuss it and bring communist and anarchist analysis to those moments in history. And I'm really excited about doing this, actually.
Listen, Aaron, I am excited about doing anything that doesn't involve a lot of preparation, that can involve a small amount of alcohol, because that's all I'm allowed, and that people think is interesting or thought-provoking. And personally, I think anti-capitalism, reasons why it sucks, explaining, pro-socialism, socialism or barbarism, anti-militarism, all of that stuff is awesome. And I am always down and ready to talk about that. I have no qualifications for punk rock other than I know like 7 songs.
No. I mean, no, and it's the perfect format that we'll pick. I'll grab up. We'll decide ahead of time. Hey, which American imperialist atrocity are we going to cover this week? And I'll find a 3 to 5 minute video that gives you the basic bullet points of it. And then Abear and I, I'll have a few. What I drink will be much more classy and much more worthy of respect because it's won a blue ribbon. Whereas what you drink is just some shit squeezed out of a grape somewhere, right? But somebody has background noise.
Does somebody have a TV on?
Mike.
Or something?
It's better now.
Hunter? You got a TV on?
Nope. Yeah, it's better now.
That's way better now.
So,
Yeah, I'm muted.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah, so that I think it would be an easy format. We grab one fucking story and then we hang out, have a couple drinks, shoot the shit, chill, and
I think there's the story, like, oh my, what's behind the announced U.S. troop withdrawal from Syria? Like, there's a real analysis to be done about why this announcement was made and what the different forces are behind it or opposed to it. That's an important story, but also the Mumia story is huge.
Yes.
He just got a favor.
Oh my God, it's so nice to hear somebody else say something like this.
Pardon me?
I said it's so nice and refreshing to hear somebody else talk about this kind of stuff. I absolutely agree with you, bro.
Yeah, these are really important stories that the Dallas Morning News isn't going to cover, or the New York Times is only going to cover in an unfavorable light. I just had I don't want to go into this, but so somebody I know, family member, escaped being laid off from a major newspaper. They laid off a bunch of people, and it's like the 5th largest market in the United States. And he escaped being laid off, and we had lengthy discussions about this and figuring out what's going on, because there's consequences and shit's coming down, and it's capitalism. And I have a perspective about capitalism at a dead end, and this constant race to the bottom, and for reasons of capitalism, whereas other people think it's greed or incompetence in the managers or bad decisions, bad actors. But these are things that I think are important to people who want to suss out what's really going on. I mean, is it this or is it that? And you can take any topic that's in the news, and you can look at it from a bourgeois perspective, or you can look at it from a anti-capitalist, a Marxist, a socialist perspective, and come away with two totally different analysis and two different takeaways. And I think making the argument for the Marxist analysis is would be my favorite thing to do, because I think more people need to understand the systemic nature of everything, rather than it's a bad actor, a greedy person, a greedy corporation, that kind of thing.
They always say follow the money. I say it always leads to capitalism.
Yeah, right?
Kind of common sense, but
yeah, it's not that common, right?
No, unfortunately not.
So yeah, I'd love to do something. You had Ted Kelly on recently, right? Did you have Ted and myself, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure that you were on that entire live stream. Yeah.
So there's a report back happening in New York City at the Solidarity Center this Thursday night. Shameless plug. Bobby O, if you're paying attention, come on down from the Bronx, come to the Solidarity Center. Sit wherever you like, front row, back row. Sit and listen to the report backs about the Mumia situation and about the pushback on the Nazis in Philadelphia recently. And maybe that could be a Punks for Progress report.
Yeah, I would like that.
The place is the Solidarity Center this coming Thursday night. I'll be working the sound and doing stuff and Skyping people in, yada yada. So I won't be able to hang out too much and host. But yeah, Bobby, if you're listening, come on down and make a report on what's going on. People need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, and also on Fire, which is
So Bear, hold your thought. Bear, stop.
Yeah.
Put a pin in it. I do want to hear this, but I do want to get people up to speed. One, I want to push that unplug the video that we did it's slipping the name, our Philadelphia report video with Ted Kelly. It's it's a full report on what Fire is.
Fire, yeah.
And it's a full report on
Fire.
fascists in Philly and it's just, it'll really get you up to speed, sounds like, with what's coming up at the Solidarity Center too. It would facilitate. There's a lot of other things going on at the Solidarity Center too as well, but you're going to be talking about the Philadelphia Fascist stuff, and so it'd be good. Check that video out on our channel.
The trip that the contingency made down to the border and brought material aid and how it looked and how it felt. And I tell you, I even have a little insight because my a relative, let's put it that way, a relative who works for a newspaper and is a photographer was sent on assignment also to Tijuana and had his own experience of what's going on down there versus what.
Hold on, Hunter, you're loud, homie. Hunter, you're loud, homie. I'm sorry, you're sniffing and snorting.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
That's somebody that's.
Yeah, it's Hunter. It's okay. I love you, Hunter. You're awesome. But I want to hear what Abear's saying because it's important.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So I'll just to cap this off. It's not just in New York. Everywhere, whatever town you're in West Virginia, you're in Southern California, you're in Reno, wherever you are, stuff is happening, and everyone who's interested in making the world a better place needs to participate. And then when they participate, they need to talk about it and let other people know what's happening and enroll and engage other people into the reindeer game of pushback on the system. And so this is not about ego and about a brand or about a thing that I do, or right. It's
about organizing,
agitating, educating, and getting the systems in place, getting the community organizations in place for that time when society starts to seriously break down. You need to know who your people are and who you gonna trust, who you gonna work with, how you gonna get things done. And this is in preparation for some serious shit that's coming down the.
Hey, no, listen, Abear, that is so fucking righteous. And you know what? That leads me. I want to talk about the yellow vests. I want to talk about yellow vests. We have a good, solid group of people here to really kind of flesh this out. But first, I want to play a little music. I want to go take a pee. I want to go take a bong hit. And like I said, play a little music.
Thorough, Aaron. I love you.
But let's come back and let's talk about the fucking yellow vests. We're at almost 2.5 hours. We plan to stream for 3 hours. So let's play music for about 10 minutes, and then let's talk about the yellow vest for about a half hour. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds great.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So I have a few records that I pulled out. Let me list them really quickly, and then we'll get a consensus. The very first ever Fishbone record, Dag Nasty Wig Out at Dankos, Total Massacres LP, B-52's Wild Planet, Bad Brains Live, and I said let me say them all first, you fuckers. Bad Brains Live, Bauhaus Burning from the Inside,
Shoot.
and the Soft Boys Underwater Moonlight.
Well, there was a couple in the beginning.
Okay, so I'll read them one more time. Fishbone's very first record.
That's the one right there.
Dag Nasty Wig Out of Dankos. Total Massacres. The B-52's Wild Planet. Bad Brains Live. Bauhaus Burning from the Inside. The Soft Boys Underwater Moonlight. So I have a vote for Fishbone's first record. I heard B-52's Wild Planet.
No, not
Aaron, if you would just look through your record collection a little bit more, I think Punker Mike and I would both be happy if you could find that copy of the Starland Vocal Band's Afternoon Delight.
Oh my God. I would totally love that.
Okay, I'm gonna actually. That's why let's pick this record first, so that I can go find that because it's buried in. I have so many different mixes on vinyl of that song.
But I want the remix. I want the forever remix. The
You-
Daytime Friends. and
Well,
Nighttime
do you want?
Friends.
Well, Bear, do you want the forever remix or the forever remix dub?
I want the forever, ever.
Okay, so I have a vote for Fishbone. I have a vote for B-52s.
Boo. I like the B-52s because I want to just.
All right, that's
Yeah,
two
just mess
B-52s.
around.
Any other
Strong
votes?
album.
Any other votes? Hunter?
I mean, I'm up for any of them.
So B-52's won out because that had 2 votes. Fishbone had 1. Let's get here.
Wanna be the king of the universe. You got 52 girls? What's the song?
I'm thinking I'm going to play side 2 because it has Devil in My Car, Quiche Lorraine.
And I like Black Cat Chickadees and greeting cards.
Bunker Mike.
I'm going to play side 2, guys, because it has...
Chinese noodles.
I'm going to play side 2 because it has Devil in My Car, Quiche Lorraine, Strobe Light, and 53 Miles West of Venus.
Oh, please, Devil in My Car. That is that's the Halloween song right there. Devil in My Car.
So
Halloween.
This record's
Bring it up.
old. I hope it doesn't skip. It's on
I hope
33.
it does.
Turn it on. And we
I
will
wonder
be
some
back.
pops and some scratches.
And we will be talking about the motherfucking yellow vests. want to go to the devil. is her name. Having a good time on a crummy day is our game. Each Lorraine. You know what she does? She runs and she shouts out, bark! Yeah! She's a good doggy. She's a sweet, sweet, sweet doggy. How do you like that? Has anybody seen a corgi dyed dark green? A dog dyed dark green. 2 inches tall. With a strawberry plum. Sunglasses and a bonnet. And designer jeans with apple things on. The dog that brought me so much joy. Let me walk in pain. Case Lorraine. I'll show her. Oh shit! I lost Mike. Call me back, Mike. Yeah, you been so fun to me. You take the cake. I'm just gonna rock the majority of him. And just get mine comes back to me. Hey, good day. You can't cheat, Mike. Hey, ding dong. Where's my telephone?
Is that you, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Got something to tell you. Got something. Oh, what?
I wanna see you tonight. I want you to walk in the door. I want you to lay on the floor. Tonight's the night. like to kiss pineapples. You moved to Hawaii just to fucking do it. Have you kissed a fucking pineapple since you've been there? We can't see you in there. I pulled you out of the video. Because I gotta hear you. Have you kissed a pineapple since you've been there?
It fucking takes forever to grow. They grow like fucking trees. They're super slow moving. Yeah, if you plant the top of a pineapple, it'll fucking grow.
If you plant the top of a pineapple, it'll grow?
Yes, it'll grow, and then it'll eventually sprout, and then it'll grow pineapple on top of it.
Wait, it'll grow pineapples?
Yeah, it's a fucking trip, man. Seriously. It's like, it grows like a fucking cactus. I
It's
swear to God.
because you cut off the top part, it still has some seeds in it, though, Mike.
No, there's no
little
seeds, dude.
black
There's no
seeds in
seeds.
the middle.
It's like the core. The core is like kind of like the root or whatever, right?
Right.
So like when you cut the top of the pineapple off, you can't see me. Well, like when you cut the top of the pineapple off, you can take that and just fucking put it in dirt and water it, and it will grow. And it takes forever, honestly, but like 5 or 6 years, it will like sprout, and then there'll be a little teeny.
Wow, 5 or 6 years to see the first yield?
That's a long wait for a pineapple.
And it's one.
Right, Hunter? I don't have 5 or 6 years to wait for a new fucking pineapple, bro.
I know, no shit, right?
I got a grocery store, bro. I got a capitalism provided me with a fucking grocery store. I don't need to wait 5, 6 years for a pineapple.
It just blows my mind. Is it
Seriously, I like
pineapple,
I
pineapple,
grow my own
and
food
yeah,
if I had the
they're in abundance here.
Pineapple growers provided you
So I mean,
with that pineapple.
that's capitalism, and that's Dole plantation, and the
Oh,
fucking-
God.
I think Monsanto owns Dole now.
A-Bear, who doesn't understand how fucking truly awesome. Dude, A-Bear, did you pay money for the things that you have that you paid money for? Actually, you're a capitalist. So...
I paid money that I stole from other people who worked for it to get the shit that I needed. I stole these headphones. They're like $200 DJ headphones, and I stole them.
You were way capitalist. Okay, so look, we're gonna talk about the yellow vests, and I have a video queued up here. It's I think everybody in the fam has seen it. It's Dude Man punching the shit out of some cops.
Oh, this is the boxer?
Oh,
Yeah, the boxer dude. So I'm gonna play that, and then I think that should get us queued up and ready to discuss the topic. So.
How come everybody's camera is off and I can only see myself?
Because you're not even on the screen yet, because I have this yellow vest thing all queued up. And because Shan, and because Hunter, you on video or not?
I'm not on video. No.
Yeah, so just you're the only one on video because you do cool stuff like that shit. You wait till you see it. Hold on. Let me play this goddamn. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna play this video. This is some badass shit that I'd like to see more of.
All right.
Hold
Let's
on.
get a peek.
Volume. Bring it back to the gate. Now, what I understand is this dude was just standing up on the rail watching, and him and his wife both got maced by the cops. And that's why he said, fuck it, and jumped in. That's my understanding. That may or may not be true. A-Bear actually may know more, but we'll see. So, check it out.
That's the story I heard.
Okay, whoops. So, look, one of the things with this whole fucking yellow vest thing is, as glorious and fucking that was, is it's hard to fucking let me get you guys back in here. Hold on a sec. But it's hard to get a solid grip, sort of, on who's your actual comrade in ways in as a leftist in this yellow vest phenomenon. And I so want this. I'm so into it, man. I'm so into it. But like, okay, so in.
Well, I mean, isn't that the reason they're wearing yellow vests?
Well, listen, let me just say something about the yellow vest, just for starters, and then I'm going to open it up to everybody's thoughts, okay? This is kind of a inconsequential anecdotal thing, is like, it's always bothered me when like so-called organizing activist groups come out and they're like, okay, these are our 5 important people, and we've handed them these yellow vests, like, initially on street actions and stuff like that. That's always made me nervous. My first inclination is that dude's a cop. Those are cops, because cops wear yellow vests. So it was a really weird thing when it first started, for that reason for me.
Workers.
And but when it happened, when it first started kicking off, it was like, whoa, they're beating the shit out of cops and whatever. And then you hear all these stories about fascists getting involved, and then the bottom line is like we're all the workers, right? We're all the workers. And I just see within this thing the chance to unify. I don't know, man. It just feels like it's the beginning of, it's bigger than Occupy, and it has established itself as like, we will punch the shit out of the pigs. We will fucking break shit, and it's like, we're not just going to sit down.
And they support the wrong side. They uphold all the bullshit.
So what are your thoughts on that dynamic, Abear, of like fascist or right-wing infiltration of the yellow vest? What do you feel about like the basic nature of the yellow vest thing in general?
So before I speak, am I wearing a tail and
yes, you are, and your mouth is bleeding.
So that's totally appropriate for a serious talk.
Right.
So I have to find something that's a little more serious here. I don't even know what this is, but we'll try this one. That's not going to work. I just need. How do we?
No, I need you to be. I need you to stay right there.
Just click on it again.
No, Abear, you need to stay right there and just be Medusa. Because look, it is fucking serious, but I don't care. I want you to look like Medusa while you do it, because we're just a janky ass fucking band of punks, man. It don't. You know.
All right. I will try to do this without looking at myself. But here's my feeling, and I'm fairly certain about this. The original spark was the tax, right? The tax on the petrol, and you know that's pretty inconsequential. It's not really about that, right? It's about the understanding from the working class that they're being pinched and screwed, and austerity is fucking them over, and that their lives are not on the trajectory they used to be on. Things are fucked up and shit. And the French do have a little more history and a little more tradition of fucking shit up, you know, turning cars over when, you know, turning over Uber cars when the taxi union is under attack, and you know they're much more militant. Now, it's also true that just because they're workers doesn't mean they're left workers. They're leftists. You have reactionary workers just as you have radical or progressive workers, right? So we've got a bunch of workers in motion that are angry, but they don't all agree or understand why they should be angry, other than they're getting fucked over. But they don't really nobody's on the same page, right, as to what it is that caused their pain. So it is perfectly natural that those on the left, forces on the left, should try to insert themselves into the discussion and rally the people to understand their understanding of why things are fucked up. And it is perfectly rational and normal for forces on the right to show up and say, hey, this is why things are fucked up. This is how Hitler came to power. Things were fucked up and shit, and people were mad, so you had people pissed off, and then the left showed up and says, here's our story, and then Hitler and the right shows up and says, here's our story. In that particular circumstances, the country went with Hitler, right? So you can't look at this yellow vest and say it is a right-wing thing or it is a left-wing thing. It's way too early. What you have is a bunch of people who are pissed off that they know things are fucked up. They know they're getting a raw deal. They know that the normal avenues of redress are all being blocked, and the normal places they would go to get some amelioration for their shit conditions, all of those avenues are being shut off to them. The institutions that would normally protect the rights that they won as workers. So we have a real struggle on our hands. Everybody needs to be in the streets there. Everybody needs to be listening. And in my opinion, from my perspective, needs to be listening to those on the left who are giving them solid, good information as to why things are fucked up and offering a vision of how to make things better. Otherwise, we're going to end up with, in France, a turning to the right, which could be very, very scary for all of Europe and all of the entire capitalist world. We're also seeing that here in the United States with Trump, and we're seeing it in Brazil with Bolsonaro. We're seeing it all over the world, a rise.
Hungary with Viktor Orban, right?
Right. Somebody has to provide the correct answers. Doesn't matter. The people that are pissed off, they're looking for answers. But somebody really needs to make the case for the correct answers. Otherwise, they might just buy the wrong answers and then go down a real fascist route. And that's the scary part. The great part is people are in motion and they're fucking shit up and stopping commerce and causing the government problem.
Absolutely. So here's where I'd like to take the discussion to is like so there's all these different here's why again somebody's background noise is loud, Hunter.
No, not me this time, man. My mic's muted.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So sorry, Hunter. Sorry.
No, it's all right, man.
So why the yellow vest thing? I think it's wonderful because it's an easy thing to recognize and go, okay, let's do this and let's get it on. But but because it also makes it hard to differentiate who's a comrade. So I'd like to talk about like it for our viewers who might be looking for sources to support yellow vest. What are some buzzwords we can look for as red flags of yellow vest pages and support groups to help us know?
Stay away from that one.
Yeah, globalist is the big one. If you see the globalist in the description or whatever, like big red flag that is a far right wing trying to co-opt this. And can you think of any others?
Jews, globalists.
Well, the bankers one is hard too, though. I've seen some stuff that looks good from leftists that mention bankers, but let's be real careful with that one too. I wouldn't say that that's a complete deal breaker, but it should be a red flag. Bankers, definitely.
But
yeah.
But an actual leftist, a real like Marxist, wouldn't say banker. He'd just say capitalist.
You're right. You're right.
mean,
absolutely.
So
That's what I was gonna say. They don't.
As a viewer to this show, it depends on where you are. Like if you're DSA, maybe you're not like totally anti-capitalist. You're just anti-bad banker, right?
Right.
I mean, so
break up the banks.
Right.
Yeah, break them up, make them smaller. Okay, well that's one thing. But yeah, anyway. But so it really depends on where people are. But for me, if people aren't talking specifically capitalism and specifically profits over people are screwing people and it needs to stop, if it's not really clear like that, then, you know, you're probably looking at pink pussy hat reformist types who have graduated beyond the pink pussy hats and are now, you know, wearing yellow vests out of their Volvos and hanging out with some people who are throwing trash cans and lighting them on fire. And the occasional boxer who comes out and punches a cop.
They still believe in checks and balances.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the things that would be a good thing to look for is if they mention, like, we welcome new people to our communities. We welcome refugees. We stand for refugees. That's generally a good indicator, I think, that this is probably not a far-right fascist page or channel or, you know, whatever. Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
So it's still kind of early in this thing, and it may not be time to be trying to draw those distinctions and saying, you know, there's probably a tactical.
No. Let me clarify. Let me clarify, Aber, because I'm not necessarily trying to draw the distinctions and say who's the good guys and who's the bad guys. What I'm doing is I'm expressing one for myself from a personal level. I've had I haven't shared hardly anything about the Yellow Vest stuff on the Punks for Progress Facebook page because I'm not sure who I'm sharing it from and from what perspective. So that's what I'm trying to sparse out. I think a lot of people are really confused like I am on like, who can I fucking trust?
I didn't know.
It's hard.
You know, who can I trust? And so like, I don't think we're going to come up with the answers of who's the good guys and who can you trust. But like, so I guess what I'm really trying to do, bro, is say like, let's try and figure out amongst us some good things to look for and not look for, or, you know what I mean, to try to help, because I don't have the answer.
Legitimate leftist Yellow Vest page, I don't think I've found one yet, honestly, for this country. They are going to lay out their beliefs and what they're trying to do. They're going to lay everything out.
Right.
That's what good, you know, organizers do. They're telling you who they are. They're not going to hide anything.
So, I will offer this. In the latest edition of Workers' World, you can get it at workers.org. It's like page 3. This is a comrade named Remy who lives in Paris. Not really a member of Workers' World Party, but maybe used to be and now lives in Paris, right? We don't have a branch there, but a friend of the party, and has written a pretty extensive article about Macron, austerity, repression, and the Yellow Vest revolt. That's the name of it. Macron, austerity, repression, and the Yellow Vest revolt. Now, one does not have to be a member of the Workers' World Party. One does not have to be a communist or a socialist to read our paper and look at it and go, oh, shit, that makes sense.
So can I tell you, Aber, I'm an anarchist, and I've read the Workers' World newsprint paper, and literally my head did not explode.
Yeah.
It didn't.
So, because it's not written from a we know everything. Join our organization, and we're gonna lead the revolution, and everybody's gonna be better off. That's like a fantasy bullshit. Like I don't know. That's some weird, stupid shit. That
No, I think let me clarify, Aber. I think that's an important distinction to make because I think a lot of people who have been sort of traditionally liberal or progressive who are now questioning that, moving on to socialism, are a little weary of. There are different groups. I'm not going to name names because I like a lot of them and I don't want to make distinctions and shit on comrades. But there are different groups that like. I don't know, man. Maybe they ultimately want you to join their group, and that's while they're still espousing very useful and wonderful information. And people are, I think, intelligently and astutely aware to be careful of that when they're new to getting into organizing and joining groups. And to hear that, like, look, we just want to give you information. Yes, we're communists. Yes, we're socialists. Whatever. This is where we come from.
Yeah.
Here's our analysis. Is a lot different than let me win you over and sneak you in. And then have you heard about our secret paper over here where we're really telling you about the devil? You know, I mean.
So here's the thing. There's a lot of left publications, and you know we all have our own unique perspectives, and that's why there are literally different tendencies, you know, on the anti-capitalist left.
Right.
And so it's up to each individual to kind of check them all out and decide if any of them fit there, you know, like, oh, which one do they resonate with, right? I happen to resonate with Workers' World Party, and I would hope more people do. But it doesn't, in the end, it doesn't matter because capitalism is going to hang itself. It's going to go down the drain on its own accord. It's going to, like, disintegrate this, you know.
And we're all gonna have to work together to.
Right. So, but we would like to be, you know, we would like to have the correct position on a lot of, you know, all the important positions. We would like to have thought about them and acted on them and have the correct position so that we can influence people who are looking for answers when the shit hits the fan. Like, look, the Bolsheviks made compelling cases. They had teeny weeny numbers. Shit fell apart in Russia. They didn't like just all of a sudden explode into like large numbers and take over the country. That's not how revolutions work, right? The empire crumbled from within. The army turned its guns around, and then the different people who had explanations and visions going forward hashed it out in newspapers and on the stump speeches and then, you know, and through their papers and their propaganda, and the Bolsheviks gained speed and took power. All right, I mean, I'll be happy when the capitalist system collapses, but I'm just saying for people who want to look at this Yellow Vest situation, read our paper and look at the 5 or 10 articles that have been put out. These are by some very thoughtful, long-time comrades who have been in the struggle for a very long time and have a unique history and perspective, historical knowledge, real understanding, instead of like reading some USA Today, you know, or AP reporter that doesn't really know, who's just regurgitating he said, she said that they got from the State Department,
right.
Or from.
So Aber, let's talk about this though. So I'm with you, and I don't mean to cut you off, but point well made, and I corroborate and do encourage you to look into these sources that Aber is saying. But let's talk about some fun shit. Like, is this it? Is this it? Is Yellow Vest the start? Is Yellow Vest the start? Is the revolution happening? Because, I mean, people are, look, man, I mean, the side, like, we just spent a bunch of time talking about trying to differentiate between fascist appropriation of the movement and real leftism and stuff. But the bottom line is both sides are jumping on this thing, and it is against the the elite class, the 1%, the wealthiest, most successful capitalists. Whether people's understanding of that reality is skewed by misinformation or not, people know. Like, and it's taking hold in countries all throughout Europe, in Canada, and like I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged, man, and I want to get behind it, and I would really like to put what little weight Punks for Progress has behind this movement. But the reason I haven't pushed it really hard is because of it's such a hard playing field to sparse out. But man, this could be it, homie. This could be it, A-Bear. Look, we're old and we don't think it's ever gonna happen, and like I don't know, man.
So, it doesn't matter if it's it or not. I mean, what's important is it's another crack, another chink in the armor, another crack in the wall, right? It's another situation where the ruling class is losing control. So the losing class lost control during Occupy. They lost control during Bernie Sanders' run. They lost control in when Podemos came to power. Syriza.
When Lula came to power.
Brexit. Like there's all these things that are happening. The United States has been beaten in Vietnam. It's been beaten in Afghanistan. It's been beaten in Syria. Like there's all these things that happen that are, and then they start fighting amongst themselves. So, some of the ruling class wants to get rid of Trump, and some don't, and whatever. So all of these things are good things for us, right? If you're
I think the revolution started way before the yellow vests. It's been, the fascism's been rising for a while, so therefore the people have been, which is a good thing. But unfortunately, bad shit always has to happen for us to rise.
Things have to get worse before things get better. At least, particularly here in the United States, which is the belly of the beast, the financial capital of the world, blah, 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 right? Things don't have to get that much worse in other countries that have, 400 years of colonialism and capitalism, imperialism fucking them over. Eventually, the Cubans say, fuck you, let's get some guns and, throw Batista out, right? I mean, by the way, happy anniversary, 60th anniversary to the Cuban people on the revolution there. But there's just, so this yellow vest is just one little, we don't know where it's going to go. And if you look at the Russian Revolution, it didn't start in 1917. Fuck. In 1917, there were two different revolutions. There was one in 1905. There was probably one.
Or it's resistance, which leads to revolution.
But what I'm saying is, there's like levels and intensities, and there's wins and losses, and eventually the quantitative changes, the small changes happen so much over time that you end up with a qualitative change, and the thing is actually different than it was before. And that's, so we'll see. I would never predict or say that the yellow vest is the start of the revolution. No, but nobody would have said that the International Women's March in February or late January of 1917 was the beginning of the Russian Revolution. Yet it was. So, a bunch of women went on strike and went marching. So, you never really know.
Yeah, the yellow vest movement can either be Americans, this will be the third one, Women's March, or it can be the one that happens, is it the next month? The International Women's March.
Oh,
it's right after.
January.
Is it January also?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was right, I don't know. They're around the same time, but that's the difference.
But our women's marches here are more of a commemoration and a way to try to bring women together into the struggle and to do speak outs and gather people.
Well, but I'm making the distinction between the corporate women's march and the international women's march in LA actually is a decent one, but it doesn't get much coverage, of course.
Big difference. You have the Democrats big pussy hat thing, and then you have the actual International Women's Day, Working Women's Coalition or whatever, Women's Day March. Very different characters, right?
However, they are both good organizing tools.
Yeah, I mean,
go to both.
Yeah, show up and hand out some proper leftist, be there to answer questions, be there to support, and not be a disruption. I'm so leftist and I'm going to smash you with my black flag. And no. Just be there, maybe have some literature on hand, have some rhetoric in check to fucking answer some questions.
Mine happens in my hometown, and I go with family too, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, so when there's a demonstration or march that's called by social democrats or democratic forces in the political sense, like liberals, when they have those marches, we should. I believe that proper, true anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist leftists should join those marches, but make sure that they have correct signage and correct slogans and half sheets and papers. Be respectful and really look for the more advanced elements of those marches and try to entice them. It's just like maybe we go to Bernie Sanders, we go to DSA meetings. Not that we think that we're going to change the DSA to become, revolutionary socialists, but there may be people in that DSA meeting that find that, it's really not revolutionary enough for them, and they're looking for an organization that they can really get into that's more revolutionary.
Right, and let me just add to that by saying
together to get out
when you
really bad right wing elements.
The right wing is obviously bad fucking news.
So I'll add to that by saying, like, if you go to those DSA, do not go to any other group to cherry pick and pull people out of that group. Don't ever fucking do that. That's bullshit. And I don't think that's at all what Abear's saying. But like, you could meet good comrades and go there to just make comrades, just to make connections and to network. And then who knows, maybe you might be like, shit, man, that person I met over, those people from that DSA, they're really, I know from talking to them, they're really into this thing that me and my comrades are doing right now. And because you went there and supported their shit, maybe you could drop them a fucking Facebook private message real quick and go, hey, we're organizing some things. Would you guys like to maybe come join us? And like, and now you know the person over there that you can contact. It's not about pulling people away from a group. It's about building bridges between groups and creating solidarity amongst the left.
If I gave that, I don't mean you only go there to poach.
Right.
You also go there to find out what's happening and to see if you can influence the group or if they need solidarity. So say we go to a different, like Workers' World goes to a DSA thing, and they're involved in a union struggle at the university of something or another, cafeteria workers, right? Somehow they've gotten onto something that we don't know about, but they need help. Well, then we're like, yeah, we will go in solidarity and do the picket line or do whatever we can to help. And this is how you build rapport and show and give and get solidarity back and forth. Because ultimately we all want generally the same thing. Sometimes not exactly, but some people are more about reform and some people are more about revolution. But building the solidarity and understanding the forces that are in play, and what are the chess pieces on the floor, who's in play, and building the context, all that stuff is important. But just straight out poaching, That's kind of shitty.
Well, hey, listen, check it out, guys. I I got another Pete Shelley video that I would really like to play. I'm gonna kick A-Bear and Hunter out of this fucking live stream. But I do want to give him. Yes, Hunter. I want to give Hunter a chance to say something before we do that. So, Hunter, how are you, homie?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Sorry for the noise I've been making. I've been getting over the sniffles.
And it's coming out your ear.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, I wanted to talk about like revolution, kind of like something on the topic of revolution. Like the way I view it, capitalism's like a wall, a big wall. And there's two types of people, and us as people, we're tools. I mean, yeah, we're human, but in a way, we have like the power of tools. So say, us as people, the more we realize the fucked up shit that's going on in this world, we're drilling holes in the wall.
That's right.
But we have to try to break through. But the other people, they reinforce that wall. And the way I see it is,
they come along and plug it up with their trash.
Yeah, basically. So,
right.
Us as people, we should try to get more people to realize that there's a whole bunch of shit going on in this world that's fucked up. People being abused by power. Like, our own government. Like, I think that's fucked up.
We're brainwashed in school and in the media. We believe we're good people. I mean, it broke my heart when I was in elementary school and my mom said that we were bullies. Like, we help people. She's like, well, but we always have to get something in return. You know, so people don't like to know that.
Hey, Hunter.
I'm gonna, yeah.
I love you because you are ready to be right up at that fucking wall and smash fucking bits out of it. And, you know, to stick your finger in the dike where the fascists are trying to fucking flow through. And I can't wait. Listen, everybody, check it out. We're Hunter's working on this album. We're going to put together a full video presentation for it, and we're really going to roll it out like awesome style. So, you know, keep a close eye on our YouTube channel. That's where we'll do it from. And it's really such a good album. And I'm going to work with Hunter, and we're going to put together a full video presentation for the whole fucking album. It's going to take us some time, but keep watching for that.
Indeed.
So,
One
Hunter,
last thing.
I love you. One last thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got, okay, so in Kurt Vonnegut's novel, Slaughterhouse-Five, he mentions that everybody gets a little bit of something out of war. But the way I view that is the only thing that war gives us is a mentality to not want to fight anymore. Like, the war, basically.
Some people get death out of war.
Yeah,
but I think
basically
war
that's what I'm
just
trying to
needs
get at.
more war.
Dimensions.
Yeah, war leads to more war, and like the thing that war gives a little bit of something to everyone is, I think that is very negative. I think we should stop that.
And that's
and instead give it.
I don't believe in demonizing people in the military, but I don't promote us.
Hey, you know what, you guys?
You know,
this is the answer. We're all Homo sapiens, and if you're a Homo sapien on the left, you're in a better place, And I'm gonna get Hunter and A-Bear off my fucking live stream. As much as I love them and appreciate your.
Sapien by Pete Shelley.
That's right.
We're gonna be all Homo sapiens.
So
too
Hunter
right now.
and A-Bear, can you please disconnect? I fucking love you. We're gonna play this Pete Shelley song. Then me, Punker Mike, SoCal Shannon will come back. We'll wrap this up. Have some closing thoughts. Talk some shit on A-Bear and Hunter. And thanks so much for hanging with us, guys. Much love to
Love
you.
you guys.
Peace,
All right, see
You owe
ya.
me a Coke, Hunter.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Oh shoot! Turn the volume up. Where's the volume? Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'll bring it back to the beginning, and then turn the volume up, and then play Pete Shelley.
Homo sapien 2.
Rest in peace, my brother. Thank you so much for what you did, Pete Shelley. There it is, Homo sapien.
I love it.
And you're Homo sapien too. And I'm Homo sapien like you. And we're Homo sapien too. And the world's built a dangerous stage where we act our lives. And the words in the script seem to fit, except we have some surprise. I just want this to last, for my future is past on. And if this is the case, then I'm losing last race from now on. I'm trying to you're the coy boy, and you know what Homo sapien too. I'm the cruiser, you're the loser, me a loser, Homo sapien too. Homo sapien too, and you're Homo sapien too, and I'm Homo sapien like you, and we're Homo sapien too. And I just hope and pray that the day our love is at hand. You and I, me and you, we will be welcome to understand. And the world is so wrong that I hope this will be strong enough. Oh, we are on our own, and the only thing known is our love. I don't wanna classify you like an animal in the zoo, but it seems up to me to know that you're Homo sapien too.
There's no such thing as a.
Hey guys, we're back.
That was loud. What was that? There's no such thing as a.
Oh, that was some fucking commercial starting on the next video.
Oh.
Yeah, let me get you guys, get Mike back. Hey Mike, you there? There he is. Bring you up. There you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am here.
What a fucking fun show, this thing we did tonight. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
We turned it around.
We should do this more often.
That fascist clown.
I'm thinking we should do this more often.
Yeah, okay, I'm cool.
No, Mike was. I'm just waiting. I could see Mike was adjusting his sound and whatever. But
Oh.
yeah, I'd like. I mean, I think we could actually do the what the fuck report like this. As long as we have our news clips and our stories and whatever set up ahead of time. You know, and our I like that we pre-plan what we're going to talk about on the what the fuck report. This was really just kind of a loose form. Let's have fun tonight thing, live stream, right? But like, it wouldn't be that hard to pull together, 3 or 5 fucking bits of sound and video, have a few records picked out, and live stream for two hours on a semi-regular basis. I mean, the way we do the what the fuck report, like we're doing this live, but I'm just talking to you right now, Mike. The way we do the what the fuck report right now is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to just seems like the way we did this tonight would be easier. And we could still provide all the same video clips and the same analysis. We would just have to do better pre-production meeting time, like with the 3 of us, but it wouldn't take that long, it wouldn't be that. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
Possibly, except for my ear is numb. I don't have the equipment. That's the only reason. Because I can't check stuff. It's frustrating.
We need a better
I
camera.
can't hear that well.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to be able to do my tax return, possibly. I hate Trump.
Well, what would be
Fuck
cool,
Trump.
like if we had a better camera, like the news clips and stuff that I'd be showing on this screen, if we had the proper camera where I could just direct the news clip straight to the camera so it would just overtake the feed, right?
Right.
That's what we
Like that
want.
last
We
video,
want
we
that
would see the whole
camera.
video instead of like the video on the TV in the background.
Right. Which works though. Like I've been looking at it on the screen and it's clear and you can see it, but like that would be the proper shit. That would be the way to do it. But I think that this is a dry run. Like we could do live what the fuck reports, man. And but let's talk about we're gonna start doing a merchandise rollout and stuff, Mike.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely thinking of, well, we need a camera.
That's what we need.
Excuse me, because I just put a cookie in my mouth. But yeah, we need a camera. And so what we're thinking about doing is getting some merchandise and saying, hey, you know what? Oh, we need like $500 for a camera. Kick us $20 and we'll send you a t-shirt. Donate, $30 and we'll send you a t-shirt and I don't know, a gig bag. And you know what? Send us $50 and we'll send you a t-shirt, a gig bag, and a coffee mug. So, I mean, it's something we're looking into. I've got to find, the proper supplier for this kind of stuff. And of course, I'm going to have to, put up some money for it. But, I mean, as long as we've got people interested in maybe, kind of it would be a fundraiser because this is all nonprofit. This is exactly what it's going for. It's going for a fucking camera so that we can possibly deal with the fuck report live like
we
this.
can pass stuff out at I know myself whenever I go somewhere and I'm representing, I pass out stickers and buttons, but I need to order more buttons. But we could pass out some stuff or what's it called? Punk rock bowling.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of.
We'll
have a bunch of stuff for punk rock bowling this year, but that's what we're talking about. Is like, it's perpetually wanting to make this better. That's what we're sitting here talking about in front of you. Is like, this started with me and Mike just recording an audio thing and putting up a picture of Bernie, Actually, we started out putting up a picture of the Germs logo. And then a little later, we started using the Bernie punk rock picture. And then, but like, and then here we are doing this. No, but look, I would like to do it, to do the What the Fuck report under this format that we did this tonight, but with a little more pre-production time talking about it. But this is the way we should do it. And then we can hang out with our fucking followers in the chat, right? And then, but yeah, let's get it to where we're doing it proper style, where when we actually play a news clip, you get to see the full fucking proper thing, or a music video, or look, we have a partnership with Rise Above Skate Shop, and they have team writers, and Mike is going to start doing regular videos for each report of different sessions from team writers, which they're fucking rad, and putting music in it and stuff, and like, so it would be better if we could stream this live and you see it as the full screen as opposed to watching that on here, which I think we should start doing it that way for now, Mike, because we can. And right? And like and then what I can do afterwards.
Yeah, which is fine. But like I'm saying, you know, we're kind of thinking of this as like, you know, a college radio station. Okay? They're college radio. We're pretty much, you know, funded by, you know, ourselves. So which is kind of like college radio. So we're just kind of, you know, flying by the seat of our pants, and you know, we're asking for donations, and this is exactly what we're asking for, is that, hey, we need to get a camera so we can bring you guys some cool shit.
And we're gonna have and we do have a Patreon account.
Bring people in.
And we do have a Patreon account. We don't do anything
and
with it.
That's
There's no.
All this is about, and it's like, if you guys would dig some merch, man, you know, and be down to donate, you know, $20, man. I'm hoping I can, you know, get T-shirts, and then you guys, there you go, boom.
Well, and that's the thing, and listen, we do have a Patreon account. It's Patreon/Punks for Progress. There's nothing there. There's no content there, and but I've just like, look, man, I was for a big part of my life raised in a church community where we knocked on doors and tried to sell our shit and sell our religion to them, and I don't want to do that. There's nothing wrong with crowdfunding, and we're gonna end up like diving down that rabbit hole ultimately, okay? But I'm uncomfortable with it. Like, I love doing this. I love everybody in the P4P fam. I think that like we have cool things to offer people. Like, we have like a fun time with each other, and we care about like getting to the root of different stories and issues and stuff, and I think that's worth sharing. I just feel weird asking people for money, dude. It's gross, man. But we're not, you know, like, but like,
yeah, because we're more about giving the more disadvantaged
the paycheck to paycheck
platform.
And we just kind of want to feel like we can give you something, because we're going to continue to provide live fucking shit and video, no matter if anybody gives us any money or not. Even if you tell us to fuck off, like every day. Like every day, if you told us to fuck off, I'm still going to continue to make video content with these people that I love. But like,
yeah, but if you dig what we're doing and you want to wear a T-shirt, dude, it kicked out $20, bro, and you know we're stoked on you.
I just want to be able to give these people something a little more than what we would already be fucking providing for free. That's all, and that's why we have like, look,
more than stickers and buttons.
Right, and we're over the hump of like subs and whatever. Like we could be monetizing our videos at this point. We were able to monetize our videos like a year ago, and then YouTube changed its fucking policy, and then we were not monetizable anymore. We've been monetizable for a little while now, and we haven't been monetizing them. And I don't want to do that. I don't want commercials interrupting your shit. But like, we want to improve it. We're making alliances with people all over the place. Like we're our righteous comrade and Australia was chatting with them today. They're gonna they're organizing anti-fascist rallies. They're gonna start providing content for us, and like from Australia, proper fucking anti-fascists. And so watch the video that I just posted. Was it this morning? It's Australian anti-fascist train ride after St. Kilda rally. amazing. The footage that our comrade in Australia provided. But anyway, that's the point, is like, we want to grow this, and I just fucking hate asking for money. That's all. And I feel like we should.
And our person on the street is gonna be in LA for the first day of the LA teacher strike, and quite possibly covering a
Thank you, Shan. So yes,
fascist event in Georgia.
that's Mike Gams. So
Yeah.
Mike is definitely going to be live streaming from the teacher strike Thursday, 2 days from now, on our Facebook page, and then the fascist rally too. And please follow Mike Gams. He's an amazing fucking comedian. He has his public entertainer. I forget what the specific name for the type of Facebook page, but it's a public figure
status.
It's a public figure page. It's not his personal page, but like there is a Mike Gams comedian page, and you can follow.
You can follow him.
And if you follow our Facebook page, there'll be links for all the things that he's up to. But he's our newest member of the family, and yeah.
Yeah, no, and all we're saying is, hey man, if you dig what we're doing, and if you want some, some swag, and you'd like to donate to the cause, like, see
And
this,
better, more content.
and watch us grow, because the bottom line is we're going to grow. We have been. I mean, it's kind of like beyond our control now. We've created a fucking monster, bro, and it's kind of like taking over now. So I mean,
it's freaking my shit out.
It's just gonna happen. So anyway, yeah, dude. Let me. I'm still working on finding a supplier, and then we'll get together and get a design out and come up with some.
Cool.
Right.
Some swag, some donations.
Right. So Mike's on that, and then here's the other side. We briefly talk with Just Jules. Look, none of us know how to make a website. Here's the problem. We could create all these T-shirts and fucking shot glasses and hats and scarves and fucking banners and all this shit, but how are you going to get it, right? Like, so we don't have a website at this point. And Just Jules does know how to make a website. If you'd like to see an amazing fucking website that Just Jules created, check out minorityhumanitarianfoundation.com. Fuck yeah, they're doing righteous work at the border for the refugees. And but yeah, so she is, I've mentioned to her and we haven't worked it out, but she's gonna work with us to get the webpage finally fucking built. And
yeah, I've been paid for the domain name since day one.
Right. We've had the domain secured. We have punksforprogress.com secured, but there's nothing there. And so that's gonna, so the point being, look, this is where we're at. We realize it's time to fucking get real about putting all this shit together, and we're doing it. But what a fucking fun time, guys.
It was.
Neither Shannon apparently agrees. Mike can fuck himself.
I was trying to figure out what that TikTok noise was. It sounded like a clock.
I don't know. We had Hunter Red and Black on the show.
We did.
We had A-Bear on the show.
We did.
We had Donald Trump on the show.